Alright guys, welcome back to the ending of the Umineko manga for episode 8. This is going to be the last, at least the last video for the manga that I will make. It probably won't be the last, completely last Umineko video that I'll ever make because y'all will probably want me to be reading the extra content, right? I think it's called Last Note of the Golden Witch. Y'all can let me know, like I said previously, or maybe you can let me know now. Since this is the last manga video, uh, what extra content you want me to read, or what you think is most important. Because I don't plan to read every single extra content, y'all. So give me the most important one. There were two that I was mentioned that are really important, and the rest were extra side story content that I don't need to delve into as much. But two, I think one of them was called Last of the Golden Witch. I think some of you told me, yeah, it's on YouTube. It's an hour long or something, or 2 hours long, or something like that. And I think a new character is introduced there or something. A new character in the witch magic world. So yeah, we'll see about that. Y'all can let me know. Like I said, what you think I should need to get into. Um, but yeah, like I said, I won't be getting to literally everything. I know there's a bunch of extra side story content with Mineko, but I don't plan to get into every single one. I mean, I finished the main story, so that was the big important thing. But for the extra stuff, like Last Note, yeah, y'all let me know. I don't, because since it's not manga, it's visual novel, and I don't have them for the visual novel. But I know there are some YouTube videos for it, so yeah, I'll look them up on YouTube when once I get all the recommendations for you guys. I'll give you guys some time buffer, I guess, to get enough comments on this video to know what extra stuff y'all want me to watch and read. And unlike what I'm doing now, where I read something that I already read before in the visual novel, I'll be reading or slash watching, right, something that's different, new to me as well. So it won't be me reading what I already read before. Um, so yeah. But that's about it. This is the last. Yeah, these are the last three chapters we're gonna be reading here. We're on chapter 36 now, and there's 38 overall, but it was actually 42. But like we talked about before, confession is 4 5 chapters or chapters. So 4 additional chapters on chapter 34. So if you count Confession as 4 separate chapters, there's really 42 chapters in total. That's why the anime manga sites list Umineko episode 8 as having 42 chapters instead of 38, and why this site lists it as 38. That's about it, but it's not really that important, is it? It's the last chapter. Here we go. Well, not the last chapter, but the last 3 chapters. We're gonna binge through them all this video, and then yeah, put a close on the Umineko story for almost good for now, excluding extra side story chapters. So yeah, last time we got to see Battler. He won Battler and Angie together, mostly Angie actually, because she became the Witch of Resurrection, took down a Burn, finally got her truth, and she chose magic, which is what we saw at the end of that. But then the chapter afterwards, after Feathery did her thing as well. The chapter right afterwards was the trick ending, which is what the we saw at the end of last time, and now this chapter is going to be the magic ending, as you see here. So now we're going to be reading through the magic ending, which is the canon. At this point, it is basically the canon ending, the ending here, the ending that feels a lot more meaningful, to be completely honest with you. So we'll see how many chapters the magic ending is going to be. Because in addition to the magic ending, we have the T and Human Party, but I don't know if those are adapted by the manga. I don't know how the manga's done those because I've never read a full episode of the manga before. Episode 8 is the only one I've done this for. Episode 7 I only read not the tea party, but I only read the Will how done it section, which wasn't part of the Tea on Human Party. So I don't even know if how did they adapt the Tea Party for episode 7? Did they adapt it at all? I mean, I'm assuming you have to adapt the Tea on Human Party of Umineko in the manga as well because those are very crucial to the story. It's not like in Higurashi. Y'all told me that Higurashi was the one that started with the whole Tea Party thing, but it was mostly keks and jokes and stuff like that. But in Umineko, it was like a bait and switch, like a well, actually, the Tea and Human Party are important to the story for the plot, right? It's what you guys told me about Higurashi, because I haven't read the Higurashi visual novel. I've only seen the anime and don't really know how they do in the visual novels, but that's how, what you all told me. So yeah. Um, I do wonder how many chapters this magic ending is gonna be and how they're gonna do it at the ending party. But we'll get to it when we get to it. Let's get it started. We're here now. Angel's Chosen Magic. So I also have found this Umineko. It's going to be a relaxing OST mix because the previous one was for fighting. It's good for fighting the Executioner, Golden Slaughterer, Dream and Discharger. Good. Yeah, this video. Good for fighting OST, but we're in a chill, more of a chill section of the story now. We're getting to the ending, so I've chosen this chill, relaxing OST mix by Jet Heron's Trash. Okay, yeah, we'll like the video here too. Thank you for oh my 5.5 hours of relaxing. That angle, oh they got that. I was gonna say I can't wait to listen to that, but that's a whole. Oh, thanks for being born is here, bro. That's an hour and a half in. Since these videos have been on average an hour long for me, we might not get that far into this playlist. But thankfully now I don't have to loop the video because the video is way long and way than enough length. Well, y'all know what I mean to read through the whole thing. I mean, we're not gonna spend 5.5 hours reading 3 manga chapters. That would be diabolical. So, all right, let's get to the pages. Let's start up the OST, the relaxing OST mix. This could be good to have like a study mix for y'all. If you probably. Damn, there's a lot of Umineko OST. All right, here we go. So, take a bunch of suitcases from my car. And the OST is loud. Okay, that's better, I think. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Okay. Beyond the door lies magic. Epilogue, side 938. Oh, Angie, you came. She's smiling. Is that all the luggage you have? Yeah, everything else I will buy together later myself. Leave everything else to me. I will take care of all the troubles from now on. Thank you, Okunogi-san. Oops. Please take good care of the Ushiruma group. I bet even Eva Basan would be happy knowing that I leave the company in the care of her most trusted employee. In her last years, the president was quite troubled. It seems she also had said some very harsh things towards you. Those couldn't have been her actual thoughts. I know that. Even I have bad days where I say things I shouldn't, just because of getting up wrong. You really changed. I did? I thought that you would never in your whole life forgive the president. But it was you who told me, remember? Without love, the truth cannot be seen. Oh yeah. I love how the OST hit at the right time as well with this panel and this obviously the sentence, right? The iconic Umineko quote. I said something so sappy. I took a long journey. Just understand these words. I went on a really long journey. Please contact me once your new address and bank account are fixed. I will see you have anything you might need. Thank you. And the Sumaderos are no trouble? Oh, that's alright. Just, without a successor being decided, the company was left quite shaky after the president's death. Yes, it was my fault when I said that I would donate the whole inheritance away, that the Sumaderos started butting in and everything got so difficult. There surely must have been people who thought it would be better if I just disappeared. Thank you for naming me the successor. You can leave everything to me now. Thanks to us having your trust fund, the Ushiruma group is as solid as stone. Thanks to you, the company that our president built can be protected, and I think the president will rejoice too. Alright. I left the company to you. Eva Obasan's most trusted retainer, so it better be safe. So now I can live a safe life hidden away somewhere. I don't know which one of us is the youngster anymore. You can come back whenever you want. We will hold a chair prepared for you. Thank you. Just knowing that I could return makes it easier to depart. How will you spend your days from now on? I'll become an author. author of novels, everything is fine. Novels, picture books, and if I have an illustrated mind, maybe even manga. It doesn't matter what medium, as long as I can communicate my heart to someone. That is quite a noble profession. I do agree. I think being an author is that's a solid career to take, career path to take. Especially because I could never, bro. I could never. I would be miserable as an author. I do not have the mind for to be an author, which is funny because I've heard the same things people say about engineers, right? Because I'm an engineer. I've discussed this actually a couple parts ago about how, what is the cutoff point of calling someone an author or an engineer or whatever else. But I mean, at this point, I would say an engineer, but you get what I mean. So I've heard people say this exact thing about being an engineer. It's like, I could never be an engineer. But in my mind, the engineering route was the only route I could take. It's the route where I could follow something that I'm enough passionate about, but at the same time helps me, get money for to live my life. You know what I'm saying? Like just to survive. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, I didn't choose engineering because um, how should I say it really? Yeah, I chose engineering because it makes enough of things that I was good at and enjoyed doing, and at the same time, I knew a profession that would um, do enough for me financially, to put it that way, right? It's enough for me financially. I mean, I'm very what's the word for it? I'm very frugal. I don't really spend money, not because I'm trying to save up or because I'm like a super like financial freak. No, I just don't really use money. I have no. I don't. I'm not a very materialistic person. I don't really care to buy stuff. There's nothing I really want to buy or get. Really, there's nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any crazy new items. I don't know. I'm not big into jewelry or items, or I'm not a collector of anything, right? I mean, yeah, sure, I bought One Piece manga, but compared to what I've seen a lot of people around me buy, that is fairly, it's basically nothing, and it's One Piece manga, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know it's that special. I'm not really like a fashion person either, so I don't really collect clothes. Not a photographer. I don't buy expensive cameras or lenses or anything like that. What else? I don't really spend that much money. Honestly, I just my monthly expenses really do, for the most part, amount to, uh, housing, right? Rent for the month, food, drink, and I guess I don't know, maybe some public transportation tickets that I use. I go bouldering, so I go, but that's not an expensive thing. You get 10 clips for how much money would it be in dollars? I don't even know at this point. So I go bouldering. Well, what else do I spend my money on? Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I mean, every so often you'll have your occasional like dentist visits, right? Or maybe I'll go get a haircut. Got a haircut like last month actually, right? So every couple of months I go to get a haircut. I know a lot of people go more often than me, but my hair goes fairly slow, so I don't need to go more than. I could go every month, but I give it like a 2.5 months break in between every time I go, 3 month break in between every time I get a haircut. I used to get a haircut even less, to be honest. I used to only get a haircut twice a year, but I've started doing it more often because I look better in general. I do look better with a haircut, obviously, right? 6 months not getting a haircut, my hair goes becomes pretty ugly. My general appearance becomes not so good. Is what I've noticed over time. But yeah, occasional dentist visits and stuff. Sometimes if I really need to buy a book from the university where like I can borrow, because typically I borrow, but if I need to buy a book, if it's a book that I expect to be using in the future of my engineering, then I'll buy a book. Like recently I bought a book, it only cost me like 12, like in dollars it would be like $12, but I used a thermodynamics book, because my professor told me that you'll use it even when you start working as an engineer. The thermodynamic values, and my field of engineering, I'll be using a lot of thermodynamics. So it's a book that has a lot of neat concepts that I'll need to fresh up on every so often, and some nice thermodynamic values as well, right? For heat capacities, thermal diffusivity, all that stuff, as well as some, although not that many others, but some values for chemical, for some of the chemical, uh, you know, chemical molecules. I can't even speak, but some chemistry values too, right? Like the molar mass of several molecules and stuff. But I did have a different book that was even better with the chemical aspect because it was a chemistry book or a chemist. It was like a chemistry plus like electrochemistry book, and that had the chemical, molecular mass values and all sorts of information about every single atom and several molecules and gases that are important. So that was even better than the book I have here. This is more of a thermodynamics focused book, so it's not as focused on the chemistry aspect. But I do really love chemistry, so I kind of wish I kept that book. I decided to sell it though. Sell it used, right? And I bought this book used too. But yeah, I wonder what I'll be using more. I guess I'll be using electrochemistry more. Electrochemistry and thermodynamics, I'll be using both, kind of. I was gonna say which one I'll use both. I'll use both. I should have probably kept that electrochemistry book. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, in this day and age, we also have Google. So if I want to know the molecular mass of oxygen, right, which is, not the molecular mass, sorry, the molar mass of oxygen, I could just Google it. I already know it's 16 though. I have it memorized because I've used it so often. But 16 grams per mole or kilograms per kilomole. But if I really needed it, like, what is the molecular mass of, I don't know, gallium, right? I need to Google, okay, molecular, keep saying molecular, I mean molar mass of gallium, I can do that. Okay, so I went on a big tangent about engineering. My point was initially, so this is what I've been doing in this channel, bro. This is what I've been doing in this channel. This is how I yap away. But the whole point was that, yeah, I've heard a lot of people say they could never do what I do in engineering, right? And I'm here like, I can never be an author. Never. Author and historian? I think those are two of the biggest things I know I could never be, bro. I would add on to maybe like psychologist slash therapist slash, that field of things. I don't think I could ever do that. And then the last field that I know I could ever get into is anything athletic, sports, like a coach or like a gym trainer. I could never do that, bro. Ooh, I'm not athletic. Although I do have, I think theoretically I do have good genes for athleticism. That makes it sound so weird and awful. No, but I think I do. I just don't particularly go. I mean, I do like I said, I do bouldering, but like I don't really exercise beyond that. I don't really do much of exercise. I mostly just focus on eating healthy. This music does not fit at all with the conversation. It probably does fit with the manga though. I don't know. But yeah, so because I don't really have exercise habits like that, I can't really do anything athletic, right? I'm more than likely below average in athleticism compared to other guys my age, but yeah, but like, yeah, I was talking about how I do have the genes for it. I mean, theoretically, sure, mostly because of my grandfather, or my maternal grandfather. That is the right word for it. Yeah, my maternal grandfather. He was a hunter. Yes, you heard that right. A hunter, like an actual hunter. Like I'm not. It's not. Sinta Assassin, wir sind die Jäger. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, that is the Attack on Titan opening, right? Like they are the hunters. We are the Jäger. Yeah, no, he actually was a hunter. He hunted animals. Um, I don't know if he ever. No, I don't think he ever killed another human being, but he got into fights with other human beings, like violent fights, and he was he was a monster. He was like Thor. He actually, if you've seen Villain Saga, he was Thor Kel from Villain Saga. That was what my grandfather was, bro. He was an actual beast, bro. He told me once. He showed me this. He has on his arm, on his forearm, he has a scar from a stab wound, right? So when he was young, not my age, maybe I think he was older than me. He was about 25. So when he was 25 years old, probably a little before he got married and gave birth to my, well, he didn't give birth. His wife gave birth to my uncle, and then my mom directly after. So he got stabbed. Anyway, he got stabbed in the forearm, and you know what he did? He was like, "That hurts, right?" The guy who stabbed him was spooked because then his knife obviously was lodged in his forearm after he stabbed my grandfather. The guy started running away. My grandfather's a bigger man. He was a big in his youth. My grandfather's a big man, right? He's like, he was jacked. He was trained. He was jacked. He was a hunter, like I said, jacked hunter. There was a boulder, like a stone, in front of him. My dad picked it up. Knife still in his forearm, bro. He told me the story. He has some of the craziest hunting stories. Um, he even showed me once he has a shotgun. He even showed me his shotgun once. I was, bro, that man was going crazy. But he picked up the stone. He picked up the stone off the ground. The guy was running away from him. Ran after him. Threw the stone at his head. Bonked him in the head. I don't think he did not kill him. He did not kill him, but I mean, it was self-defense. He stabbed him first. What a freaking chat picks, bro. If I get stabbed in the arm, you bet I'm just screaming. I'm not picking up a boulder and throwing it like, dude. My grandfather, what was he up to? Yeah, he knocked the guy straight unconscious though. Threw the stone at his head, bang, bang, straight down unconscious. That was crazy, bro. And yeah, the stab wound is still there. Like you can still see the scar. He showed me the scar and everything. Yeah. Which is crazy. So that's why I say I think I think I have the genes to be a more athletic guy than I am. I mean, I definitely do. I mean, and everyone that doesn't exercise has the genes to be more athletic than a person than they are if they really exercise and train. Obviously, you're going to get more fit, more athletic. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, if I don't know how many of my genes are from my maternal grandfather though. I don't you know what I'm saying? Cause you know I also have my dad's genes in there. You know what I'm saying? Mixed in there too. So I don't really. And though actually, my dad's family was really athletic too when they were young though. But they were not athletic in the hunter sense. They were athletic in the sporty sense. Yeah, cause my dad was actually the best footballer his age around his kid group, and so was my grandfather, as in my paternal grandfather as well. I never met him though, cause he died before I was even born. But he died in 1995. Yes, several years before I was even born. But my paternal grandfather's apparently a freaking god at football. And so was my dad too. So I do have technically athletic genes from both sides of the family in that sense. Um, but I'm out here reading Umineko instead. So frick that. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps one day I'll pass these genes on. Okay, talking about genes like this, it sounds like eugenics. It sounds weird. I don't want to talk about genes. I don't really know. I'm more just mentioning it because I was saying that I could never be a sportish person. There was like professions I can never do, right? It's being a historian, being an author like Angie, like Featherine, like, you know what I'm saying? And I could never be a historian or a psychologist, or the last thing I mentioned was anything to do with sports or athleticism. I could never just do that. But I was just making a remark about that last part, is that maybe in another universe, in a fragment where I'm Leon Ushiromiya, maybe I would have been a super athletic guy like my grandfather. Maybe he was a jacked hunter. Maybe I could have been like that. And maybe then I could have been a coach or something. Maybe I could have been a boxer. Who knows? In a different world that I went Leon to show me around. But instead, I'm here doing this. I'll take it. All right, let's keep reading. Do you guys think you could be authors? By the way, do you guys think this is a profession you all could pursue? I'm too. I'm not dyslexic, but I mean, I'm reading Umineko with y'all right here. I mean, if I was dyslexic, wouldn't some who's dyslexic struggle to read these manga chapters more than I do? I've known only one dyslexic person in my life, like one close enough for me to like actually interact with them as they're reading stuff. And bro, I felt bad every single time because he was a close friend of mine. He was okay. He was a friend of a sibling, so he wasn't a close friend of mine personally. But every single time I'd forget that he's dyslexic, and like tease him about something about how he read something wrong, and he'd be like, Okay, but I'm dyslexic though, and I'm there like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, because it's not something I have in front of my mind every time. So he'll read something, he'll be reading something, and then he'll say something wrong grammatical, he'll read it wrong completely, he'll be like, oh, it says this, come on, bro, and he'd say, well, I'm dyslexic, so my bad, and they're like, I forget, I'm making fun of his, it's a disability, right? Yeah. I'm not wrong in saying disability. I'm making fun of his disability. Ah, yeah, it's mommy. That's on me. My bad. It's because it's not fun at all. I mean, I'm sure I'm sure it's been very rough on him because of being dyslexic. I'm sure there's plenty of dyslexic authors though. I'm sure you can definitely be a dyslexic author. I mean, that shouldn't prevent you completely. That's not preventing me though. I don't have any reading or disability or anything like that. At least not that I know of. I do read slower than most people though, as you guys can probably tell from the way I read these manga. And that's not because I yap in the middle of reading. It's not like when I read in real life, I'm yapping as well as if I'm recording a YouTube video. No, I read like every other human being. I don't read a book or even a manga the same way I read it when I'm making a video for y'all. Um, I do, despite that, still read slower than the average person in my life. I take a bit long to digest it all and to remember it all. But that's not really why I can't see myself as becoming an author. I can't see myself becoming an author because I friggin' suck at writing. That's what really. That's what really prevents me from being an author, to be honest. All like literature, um, skills in writing. I was always so freaking bad, bro. I can read even if I'm slower than the rest. I'm still can read. I like reading. In fact, I don't mind reading. I don't mind. Yeah. I have read books before, especially in the context of doing school projects. But I also read a lot of scientific papers and stuff for engineering. I've done engineering project before. I've had to write, and then to be able to write about the scientific projects, I needed to read scientific reports and stuff, and I can do that type of reading. Um, for writing though, never my best suit at all. Never liked writing. Um, was one of the things that my teachers disappointed by on my end. They'd always be like, "Amin, come on, you can get better at writing." But because they knew I was they knew I was good at other aspects of things, but they felt like I could become a better writer, but I just couldn't, bro. Or I guess maybe I didn't put enough effort, but I really didn't enjoy doing it. That which is the biggest thing I feel like is whenever I don't enjoy doing something or whatever is something that I don't enjoy doing, I just get really really bad at it, bro. I've stuck with. I came to a realization at some point that unless I'm enjoying something, I'm not gonna do it. At some point, I just stuck to that, and it's worked out in my life. That's basically it. Just pursue things that I enjoy doing. Right? I would never be an author because I would don't enjoy writing. Right? I became an engineer because I enjoy a lot of the things that you do as an engineer. That's basically it. Um, yeah, same thing. While I was never as athletic as either of my parents, or I should say, my mother was never athletic either. My mother, I actually don't know much about my mother's past life, to be honest, or my dad. They really don't talk much about their past. But my mother was not athletic in her youth, or not specifically at least. She was just chilling. Um, but my dad and grandfather was, and so was my mom's dad, right? My grandfather. So um, I didn't choose that for myself because whenever I did something athletic, I just didn't find it that enjoyable. So I just stuck to my principle of doing things that I enjoy, and yeah, that's how I ended up here. So I just kind of stuck to that whole thing of I'll just do what I enjoy doing, and I combine it with what is feasible too for the future, like um, if that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, I enjoy doing engineering, and it also worked out that uh, it's a solid career to pursue, so it worked, right? Um, that's about it, and that's the same reason why I do bouldering. Bouldering is the only physical activity that I enjoy doing. I'm not good at it, by the way. I'm trash at bouldering. Oh boy, but I still enjoy doing it, so that's why I do it, and it's good for me. So I put in that extra incentive to do it because it's healthy for me to do. Um, but yeah, alright, I went on way longer of a tangent, I guess, than I was expecting to. So this video is probably gonna be very long just because of that. Alright. That is quite a noble profession. I'm praying for you to succeed. Thanks. If I release a book, I'll send it to you. Why don't I introduce you to your driver? As long as it's not Amakusa. Achoo! I'm so sorry, Ojo. The boss appointed me as the contact person of you, Angie-san. If you have any troubles at all, don't hesitate to call upon me. Even if I told you to go and buy toilet paper, I'll take the opportunity and buy some tampons for you too. Hey, see, Amakusa, that's just not it, bro. That's just not it. This girl is freshly 18 years old. Freshly, that makes that, I'm bad too. I should not be saying that. This girl is newly. This girl recently became 18 years old. You are how old, Amakusa? Saying I'll take the opportunity to buy you tampons too? Like, bro, are we being serious right now? Like, that's just a weird thing. Bro, this is a weird thing to say, man. Also, how do you know that she uses tampons? Maybe she uses other, like, you know what I'm saying? Because there's pads as well. I mean, different girls do use different things. I know some girls hate using tampons. At least I've heard. I don't know much myself. I don't know. I'm not a connoisseur or anything like that. But come on, Amakusa. See, isn't he the worst? Why are you laughing, bro? Why are you laughing? Isn't that weird? Bro, what? Man, maybe it's a difference in the. Alright, let's just leave it there. Alright, let them be weird. Have a safe trip, Angie-chan. This will also be the last time that you call me that name. I see. If you decide on a new name, don't forget to tell me. Peace out. Alright. Can I just call you Ojo until you decide on a new name? For now, that will work. Hey, Amakusa, you just said you would even go and buy me some tampons, right? Okay, she's taking him up on his offer. Fair enough, my fault. Amakusa, you did good. I did. Do you need any right now? I have something I want you to buy. Flowers? Kiria Ushiromiya. Her mom? Fair enough. But did he also buy tampons though? I mean, if you're already on the topic, I'm just saying, bro. I mean, did he buy the tampons for you, Angie? Did he go? Alright. How many years has it been? Well, I was taken here by Eva Obasan on so many occasions, but since I didn't want to accept it, I never went on my own. Battler Shiromiya. Requiescat in Pace. Okay. Some Assassin's Creed up in there too. I know it's. Wait, why is it Italian? I know it's like it's Italian. That's I've said Assassin's Creed because it's a big thing in Assassin's Creed. But Assassin's Creed is or the Ezio collection, right? Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood and Revelations take place in Italy, right? Ezio Firenze, Ezio Auditore da Firenze, right? That's the whole thing. And whenever he assassins them, you know what I'm saying? He assassinates his opponents. He goes requiescat in pace, right? That's what he says. Why is it Italian? Because they're in Japan, and even if this is translated from Japanese, why is it not rest in peace? It's in English. Is this the Italian translation version, and then they just brought it here for the English version? Because heck, why not? Do they say requiescat in pace still in Italy, as in current day, whenever someone passes away? Do they use requiescat in pace like this, or is it only like a fictional thing? If that makes sense. Is it like an archaic form of saying rest in peace in Italian, or is it still being used? If it's still being used, yeah, I don't know why it would be Italian. Obviously, we know the Ishinobu family is obsessed with, or Kinzo is obsessed with the West, so Kinzo had a lot of like Western influences to these things. But I don't know if this is part of that or if this is something else. Y'all can let me know why it says requiescat in pace instead of rest in peace. And for Kitty as well, Maria. She leaves the flowers for Battler. Oh, okay. That's still cares about him. Oh, there's a box. Nice, nice. That one leaves a really nice impression. Okay. My Oni-chan wanted it like that, so what should I do? Alright. And there's tampons in there too, but nah, I'm done. Your brother did like that. Then how about putting a big titty pudding in front of my grave for starters? This is crazy. What? Do you honestly want to make a young girl buy something like that? Alright, well, hey, you're smart. She instead made an, well, not an old guy, older guy than her. I'll just go with that, because that's, you know what I'm saying? We made a different guy buy it for her, so she didn't have to be embarrassed about it. You caught that thing like it was nothing at all. If I bought it while fumbling if I was fumbling it, I would look even more like a pervert. True. If you're going to buy a big titty pudding for someone anyway, or for whatever reason, hey, whatever you do with your money, your free time, that's up to you. But if you're going to buy it anyway, this type of thing, you might as well be confident about it and just be like, yeah, I did it, I'm doing it, cool. She's smiling. Oni-chan, everyone, I will go now. I am making my first step now towards the future. Thank you, Angie. A big titty pudding. Hi, the breast sommelier will taste every inch of this one. That's crazy. Although Battler did say that before, that he was a breast sommelier. That's not the first time he's mentioned. He's mentioned that about himself. Battler, you. There should be a. Just touching it with one hand. I would say this is a C cup. What? How can you even do that? How can you even measure that? Surely, to know to measure that, like, surely you gotta measure several breast sizes. Yeah. So Battler's used to doing this. So Battler's going around just saying, I could never ever estimate the breast size, or yeah, breast size declaration. You know, A, B, C, whatever, D cup, just based off touching the breast. I could never. I don't know. I've never. All right. I've never, you know, analyzed it like that. I'm just saying. Even though you have someone like me, if you want to grapple it that much, at least do so while thinking of me. I mean, or you could just, if you wanted him not to do this so much, you could just offer up. I'm just saying, you could just offer up. You could just be like, Battler, touch my breast instead. Alright, anyway. That's not good. Not good at all. The biggest dream is to grab the titties of a blushing maiden. What? I'm having the exact same reaction, Beato. What's that about blushing maidens? A titty pudding is not even the real thing. You're a real degenerate, Battler-kun. You are the worst. What did you ask your little sister? Yeah, no. Having your little sister do this for you, bro? Come on, bro. Ew, I will let Maria! Oh no, 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 no. Especially because in this you're a 9-year-old. No, I don't want to see a 9-year-old say this. No. This is rough to read, man. Rosa, where you at? Please, someone. Take this girl away, bro. She's way too young to be saying this. She needs to be at least twice her age, man. Oh my goodness. I'll let the Battler grapple my titties too. Promise. This ain't it, man. This ain't the one. No, you can't, Maria. Calm down, Maria. This was not the one, bro. We really could have gone without this panel's existence. Come on now. Come on now. All right. Well, everybody's happy and smiling at least. Yeah, Rosa's there like, Rosa, please take your child away. That was not it, bro. What the heck is going on with Nazi? Show your face around here again sometime, Angie, and bring me another titty pudding. You don't have to trouble yourself for that. That's because we are always right here within you. As long as you live, we are always by your side. Well then, where to next? North? South? Do you have recommendations? How about leaving Honshu for a little? I would definitely recommend Hokkaido. White fields, huge clouds, and an author riding in a log cabin is just awesome. That is very author vibes. South it is then. I decided that I would do the opposite of what you said. I was gonna say, isn't Hokkaido north? I was actually about to say Hokkaido's north of Japan, right? It's that north bit. Why would she say south? That's ouch. What? That's a little mean. Somewhere warm is good. A town where I can see the ocean. Okay, when you open your eyes the next time, we will already be in an unknown territory, in a warm town where you can see the ocean. I'm depending on your choice. I will change my name from here on out and better my life. But I will not throw being Angie away, because I have a mission as Angie Beatrice. I am the Witch of Gold, Endless and Resurrection, the last member of the Mariage Sorcière, the witch that lives in the future. Epilogue. Side Meta Witch's World. The reading of the kanji, which is given as meta. Okay. Which meta? Okay. The writing ends where the writing ends. No. Accurately said, it is not written to an end. If you write a story to a certain point, can you say it is fully written? This has been paining me in all those long years as someone who writes. The journeys of humans make for such entertaining stories, yet, but from where does the journey start and where does it end? Even I do not know an answer to this. A long-deceased old friend of mine once said, humans' lives are a journey from birth to death and there is never a moment to put the quilt down. Yet I do not think so. You should make a story into a cat box at a point of your own liking, because it is a story revolving around the cat box. Let's just write a little more and then lay the quilt to rest. This shall be a farewell. This color, banger OST. Ah, it hurts! You suck! Sue better already! Doesn't really fit the scene actually though, not at all. You're so noisy. If you hate hand sewing, I can get the machine. Anytime. Not the machine! Sew by hand! But be a little more gentle. Ouch! Ouch! Maybe it heals with a little spit. Oh! Can! She's getting her back together. Just lick her there without any word? That is crazy, by the way. Licking someone's wound like this is crazy. Oh yeah, Lambda got freaking wrecked last time by Featherini, but she's back. I'll use a carpet needle next. This will hurt like hell, so get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2... Don't tell me that! Be at least grateful that I'm sewing you back together. I love you, Bern! That's her other arm. Or maybe just her... Oh, yeah, her other arm, yeah. Okay. I have returned, my master! The sesame salt, I have acquired it! Sesame salt? What? Do you want to put that in the tea? It's Erica's toy. Erica, have you brought your chopstick? Yes, my master. Well, pour all the sesame salt on the table. Yes, my master. Now use your chopsticks to separate sesame and salt. Yes, my master. Please take a look at my exquisite chopstick technique. Oh my god, her and her chopsticks. I look forward to it. When you're finished, put it in the back, won't you? Yes, my master. Are you having fun torturing her again? Sorry, I'm just playing around. Oh yeah, Erica, there was a letter delivered to your name just now. A letter? I sense an incident. Don't tell. I will guess the sender. The postmark says heaven. Someone like Lanor, I guess? So you two still hold a friendship? What a surprise. But just by this postmark being here, a reasoning like this is possible for Burn Castle. No! No, my master! Van Dyne number 9. It is forbidden for there to be more than one detective. Well then, it seems it's time to go. Goodbye, Master Detective Erica. No, my master! Your Witch of Truth, Erica's right here. I don't really understand whether you two like or hate each other. Hate, of course. I only love you, Lambda. No, my master! Lady Lambda Delta, it seems we two cannot get along at all. You think you got a chance? Right here, have Lady Lambda Delta's arm. And Right here is the cross section. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Wait, you wouldn't. Against my rival, I can do this. Stop. I'm ticklish. I am actually really ticklish too. You do this to me, bro. Well, maybe not to my severed arm. Although, actually, what is it called again? Shadow pain is a thing. Where like if you have a severed limb, your brain will trick itself into thinking your limb is actually there, and you'll get pain because your body's like right away not used to you not having a limb. It's a thing. It's actually a thing. Um, if you ever end up in a very very unfortunate situation of having an amputated arm or leg, I've learned recently that shadow pain does exist. But this is obviously, you know, the world of witches, man. I did it! Like my master before, I also have won against Lady Lambda Delta with ease. So, what's with the letter? Does it say anything about their current situation? Yes, Gertrude has been upgraded to an Inquisitor. Oh, let's go. Congratulations. Well, wonderful. Congratulations, that's what I said too. Oh, and recently, she has started taking care of a Wanyan next to her cat. What's a Wanyan? Bern, you don't know? You're so out of style. I also had a female. It was really good when making candy sugar. I don't really get it, but next time you make sweets, I'll pass. Cornelia learned that martial arts ranks are quite helpful in the interrogation process and started making martial arts classes. Taking martial arts classes. I don't know why I said making. Kickboxing and Chinese boxing. Seems like she got influenced by Eva. Alright, good for Cornelia. She doesn't seem like one who can fight on one leg though. That's true. A certain somebody must have really steeled her. Stand on one leg. One leg! Order red. There is also something about Will's current situation. Whoa, what a surprise. He seems to have hit the jackpot at the stock market, and with the real estate revenue he gets now, he's living a life of leisure. Okay, Will. He started playing badminton as of recent with Leon, and his coach seems to be pretty harsh. What about Lunor? She's still just pushing stamp after stamp. Payment slips, approval forms. On a special day she might actually sign something. Because I am doing the dispatch directly as well, I really wish for an incident to occur in my division, is what she writes. How about we made one? An incident? They say wherever the detective goes, an incident follows. Well, if you ever feel like it, you may as well go and bother her. Oh, and there is also something about the Chester corpse written here. Wait, I don't really want to hear about it. I have to set my preferences somewhere. And done. Ah, I finally have a right arm again. Next left one, please. Let's have tea before that. Erica, please prepare the can with the black tea and the pot with the sour plums. Yes, my master. Where will you go next? If you go north, then I will go south. If you go east, I will go west, Bern. It would be nice if you didn't have to play the most hated role next story. Why? It was quite fun playing the part. What story might we stumble upon next, I wonder? And in what kind of story will we meet again, I wonder? For two in love, the ocean of fragments is small. For those in the upper rows, the ocean of fragments is vast. Like ghosts in the shell. Hey, good movie, good movie. What does that mean though? Ghosts in the shell, what does that even mean? I don't even get that. We'll be able to meet again when something cries again. That's nice, let's do that. We'll be able to meet again. I'm guessing it's the end of the chapter. When something cries again. Yeah, it's the end of the chapter. Okay. 2 chapters left, everybody. We spent a long time on that one chapter because I yapped about being an author. Being an author and stuff. But alright. 1986, October 5th, 1:05 a.m. Every kind. Oh, okay, so now we're finally getting to the magic ending with Beato and Battler and them on the boat. Alright. That's gonna be this chapter. And then I guess next chapter is going to be an unhuman party. That's an interesting way of pacing it. Because in the visual novel, obviously, you get the Bachelor Beato stuff that we're getting now. And then you got the Tea Party, which was, I believe, what happened last chapter, right? And then we get the Unhuman Party. But here we're getting the Tea Party first, then this section, and then the Unhuman Party. Or maybe I'm just remembering how episode 8 went in a visual wrong, and that wasn't the Tea Party. But I think, wasn't the Tea Party? But yeah, wasn't it between Burn and Lambda? I could be wrong. Alright, let's just keep reading. Every kind of pretend get-along has vanished from this island. Time to have some fun. What about Battler? Is he gonna touch the billion? Only if he wants to die. I am soft regarding my own children, but going so far as being nice to Osm's child, that's asking too much. Tick tock. If Battler-kun doesn't go along with it, I'm sorry, but that's it then. Tick tock. It's 1:05 a.m., right? Yeah. Beato's woken up. I am alive? Why? I was definitely shot. Ugh. My shoulder? The collarbone? Is it broken? Did Kiri end up with the gun loaded with blanks that I mixed in? Wait, was she shot in the collarbone? I forget. What happened to Beato again? Can someone let me in episode 7? Did she get... No, that doesn't look like a bullet though. She has graze wounds. It's like, did someone try to suffocate her or something? Okay, well, her collarbone might be broken for whatever reason. Maybe she was shot in the collarbone, and that's why it's broken. The damage is on my collarbone, and quite a big one where a bit opened my lip. I am alive, in this chamber full of corpses. Yeah, everyone else is dead though. Oh yeah, she's bleeding from her lip as well. So she got shot in the collarbone and she's bit her lip as well. Okay. Alright. Nice OST, that fits this scene as well. It's good for me. I'm alive. Kitty and Rudolph are going on a killing spree though. Wait, why is Eva dead though? Eva should also be alive in this. Oh, I guess this is before Eva woke up again. So Eva is quote unquote dead, but she's actually alive. And she's gonna go wake up and then she's gonna take care of Rudolph and Kitty. But Beato woke up first. She's the one that noticed first and went away with Battler. If Battler-kun doesn't go along with it, I'm sorry, but that's it then. It's likely all over already anyway. I lost when the epitaph was solved. Now they will murder anyone of us who stands between them and the gold. Even all those who are so precious to me. She took her ring off. I won't let them die. I won't let them die. I won't let them die. The gambling is over. Nobody has to die anymore. Live! George! Son. Yeah, no, George is dead already. And so is Jessica. I mean, only Battler's left alive, unfortunately for you. I swear that I will continue loving you for all my life. Yeah. Rest in peace, George. Have to go. Hurry! They won't show any mercy. Battlerson and the others might already be in just the same danger. This is crazy. Rudolph, why'd you have to kill George too, though? Chapter 37. When the Seagulls Cry. That's the name of the chapter. Where? Where are you, Battlerson? Well, there's Jessica. Yeah. There's Maria. She was killed by Kyria. Kyria kills her brutally too. Did we pass each other by somewhere? Or might you already be... No, Battler's not dead. Believe! Battlerson! Okay, back to the chapel. There's Battler alive and he sees all the deaths. So, okay, so Battler's still alive. Because yeah, why would his own parents kill him, right? Damn, look at his eyes. Battler son. No, he mustn't. Oh, right. So Battler doesn't know yet what's going on fully, right? She doesn't want him to see that it was Kitty and Rudolph, that they're the culprits. She's trying to get him away. So they're going to Kvadorin instead, right? What? And that's where they run to the underground. Okay. And then Eva's here. She picks up the ring. Evatrice! Wait, let me go. Okay. And Eva and Kiria have their standoff. Right, so Beato thinks it's Kiria coming in, but it's actually Eva. No, no, it's not Eva, because Eva wakes up in this room. No, or it's Eva coming back after having killed both of them. After having killed both Kiria and Rudolph. So yeah, okay. So I'm guessing the order of events was Beato runs outside to go find Battler, sees George dead, because Rudolph had killed George by this point. Sees Maria Jessica dead. Then Eva wakes up, kills Rudolph, kills Kiria, then comes back. Beato, thinking that Kiria is still alive, hears footsteps that are actually Eva's footsteps going back down to go to Dorian to safety, runs with him, and then Eva comes back and sees the ring that is left and takes it. Okay. Then Eva also goes to Dorian in the same tunnel that these two are taking. However, she ends up in Dorian. These two end up taking a boat from here, from this military, what used to be this military like shack, underground cave. Take the boat out, and yeah, Eva survives. Okay. I said, let go! What? What is going on? What? What are you even? Yeah, Battler's crying. Sorry, Goda-san. Can you tell me where the chapel? Dad, everyone. Goda-san has been... Jessica's dead. I have to let everyone know. Muddy is in danger. Crap, 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 ah! They're all dead. Dang, what's going on? Anyone? Anyone? They have all been murdered. A murderer has snuck onto the island. We must call the police. Are you that bad teacher from that letter? Did you do that? Did you do that to them? And me? You wanna kill me too? No. No, Battler-san. I want to rescue you. You know my name? Rescue? Wait. That voice. Sharon-chan? Oh, Battler recognizes her. Why would you dress up as the witch? No, your shoulder. You've been attacked by the culprit too? Did you see who it was, Sharon-chan? Who? What kind of monster killed everyone? I'm gonna kill that bastard. You can't. Enough bloodshed in this family. In this family? You mean it was all that dang Jesus doing? No, please, Butler-son. Stop thinking. Any other corpse I haven't seen would be... Yeah, it can't be. She wouldn't do such a thing. Why did this happen among family? It's just stupid. So yeah, Butler did see Eva's corpse, so I was right about the order of events. Eva had already gone out the chapel by this point to go kill his parents, funnily enough. Alright. It's just stupid. I'm just crying. We must call the police now. We mustn't go back. We'll be killed. We can't call the police. No boat could come in the storm. And we can't leave either. We can only hide ourselves right here. Ouch! Her shoulder's in pain, yeah. Her collarbone might be broken. I don't know. I don't remember what happened to her collarbone. Was she shot there? I guess she was shot, wasn't she? She should have survived. I guess that's why her collarbone's broken and she's injured in her shoulder area. No boat could come in the storm. Please, don't go away. But does her shoulder really look like this from being shot? Like this dark spot here? I don't know. It's a weird. Was she only just shot? I don't know. I don't think it's supposed to look like that. I'm not a medical expert. Leave me with that. Y'all can remind me what happened to her here. Please don't go away. Don't leave me alone, Battler-son. If you follow this underground tunnel to the other side of the island, there will be a boat. Okay, this OST does not fit. If you follow this underground tunnel to the other side of the island, there will be a boat. If you wait there till the storm passes, we could escape. Can't we do anything to capture the culprit before escaping? That's no good, I think. Our opponent has guns and no longer any qualms about killing people. Unarmed we are easy prey. But Satang Jeezer and Kanon-kun might still be safe. They're both dead, bro. No, oh, Kanon is alive, yeah. On this island there are now only us two and the culprit left. I can't even start to understand this. How did it even come to this? Shannon-chan. What and how far do you know things? Why this outfit? Let's walk a little further, Battler son. They might find us here. I hope you will humble me and believe that I am what I am to tell you, Battler Sama. You may despise me and shower me with words of abuse, but I beg of you to listen. I am the human who is Shannon, yet also Kanon. Yasuda Sayo. Okay, this is very different from how it was in the visual novel, obviously. This is interesting. This is why I read the manga to begin with, is to get this kind of stuff. Okay. As well as the third Golden Witch Beatrice, I have eagerly waited for your return. Shannon-chan? I have finally laid out there what was so hard to say. He would never, he would have never asked me. Even though I wanted him to solve it, why am I suddenly so open about it? Because all gamble is at an end? If that was true, I could have just stayed silent. I don't get it. So you were planning on killing us like you announced? Yes. But they, your parents among them, ended up solving the epitaph, and a dispute about the gold broke out. I foresaw a quarrel like this, yet I did not stop it. No, even if it didn't end like this, I would have killed them anyway. If you hadn't come back, that's just an excuse. I am the one who should be hated. If you hadn't come back, so many things went just like in my plans. That is why this tragedy is my sin. I was even planning on killing you. It would be fitting if you were to kill me here now. Planning on killing me, right? I don't quite get it. But you were in a lot of pain, right? I wonder if I'd solved the epitaph, if I could have saved you. Yeah, that's a big if. I don't think that you have sinned. If the plan fails, it's just an attempt, or something like that. And aren't you trying to rescue me right now? Ah, from the very beginning. I've managed to calm down a little because you're here too. Thank you, Shannon-chan. I wanted to open up to you and beg for forgiveness. I wanted to feel at ease. Battler, son. Uh, uh, hey, it's alright. Your shoulder hurts, right? Let's rest. Let's see. I still got the candy that I got from Maria. There were so many mysteries that I wanted to talk with you about. Battery's eating the candy. Yeah, she's eating the candy too. So many things I wanted to talk with you about. To have that day come to me at last. Man, this could have happened without everyone dying. So sad. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tick tock. Tick tock! Ah! Oh, you're up. You're so tired. You slept like you were dead. Battler-san, do you know the time? Oh. It's just past 11 p.m. We did talk quite a lot. It's not even 1 hour left to the explosion. Battler-san, I can't believe it. Was it really just last night that we were having fun in the cousin's room? So that entire day, because it was 1 a.m. at the start. Was it at the start of this chapter or at the start of last chapter? 1 second, guys. Yeah, it was 1 a.m. at the start of this chapter, and now it's 11 p.m. So all the events, all the murders, all that stuff happened in the course of that entire day, from 1 a.m. all the way to 11 p.m. The same day. So yeah, 22 hours later after all this. It's not even 1 hour left to the explosion. They're really gone, Maria, Jessica, even Aniki. It's really true, right? It's not a nightmare, is it? Battler-san, to see such atrocities with your own eyes, anybody's heart would break. He simply overdid it just like me last night. What's this loss of spirit, battler? Sh Shannon? I I am not Shannon, for I am the Gold Witch Beatrice. The House of Ushiromi is the clan of the one-winged eagle. Do you think it suits an eagle to cower on the ground like this? S stand! What? You... What's this? Show it to me! Your spirit. Okay, translator no. Actually, she tells him to call her Omae, and she will call him Sonata instead of the usual Anta. So it just doesn't translate, it's all you. I see. I see. I see. Okay, I see. It's a Japanese like honorific specification. I get it. I get it. I get it. It doesn't really work in translation, so they decided to say, "Show it to me, your spirit." Yeah, I get it. All right. Thank you. To be cheered up by a witch. We have to hurry. Come, battler. I will lead you through the underground of my island. Huh? Okay. We have to hurry. It will start to explode any moment now. We have to run. Yeah, it'll explode in just 10 minutes. Yeah, I have to be quick about this. You're running too fast. What about your shoulder? Oh, actually, yeah, she's using... Oh, yeah. Okay. This island will blow up at midnight. The explosion will cover a radius of 1 kilometer. That's crazy. 1 kilometer. That's wild. There has been a time bomb like that set up on the island. According to calculations, we will be able to escape it at the far edge of the island. What? Then what about everyone's bodies? Other than Maria's jaw? Gone. Or part of Maria's jaw? Gone. Any evidence and everything else will be blown away. All the truth will be locked up in the witch's cat box. Crap! Wait, are you okay with that? If everything is blown away, that includes all the bodies, even Aniki's. Why didn't you tell me this any sooner? We might have been able to deactivate the bomb. A dead husk without a soul is only a cage of flesh, nothing but an object. What? What would you gain by risking going back? I told you, I want to rescue you. He gives her a piggyback ride. Butler, it's because you... It's because you run too much. What? Is this the right way? Yes, straight ahead. Then shut up now. I would laugh my crap off if you bite your tongue and die before the explosion. Alright. Aw, she hangs on to him. Tick tock, tick 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 tick. Time's still ticking. Everyone's dead though already, other than ever. It's midnight now. Boom! Whoa! Wow, y'all barely made it out of that. That's insane. That's impressive. Yeah, they're all gone. They're all dead. 1986, October 6th. Y'all made it to October 6th. Nya 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 nya. Oh, right, those are the seagulls. What am I talking about? Yeah, yeah. The chapter is called "When the Seagulls Cry." This is the ruins of a former submarine base. This is the place where me and you met in our past lives 2 generations ago. Hahaha. It's kind of romantic if you say it like that. Is she talking about Kinzo, the first Beatrice? Because Battler is they do not conflate Battler with Kinzo. That is crazy. Battler and Kinzo are not they're not, Battler is much better. Take this, it's heavy. Whoa, it's a gold ingot. I hid one away in case something like this would happen. Have you ever steered a motorboat? Why should I have? It's easy, I'll show you. If you steer out there and go around the edge of the island, you can see Nijima. Then you only have to head for any beach. You're not coming? I cannot go, for I am the master of the Golden Land, so I cannot go. And what will you do here? What would I do there? Living! I cannot live. I have already committed countless sins in countless worlds called fragments. The number of lives I have taken, the number of sins, it's too high. That was all just attempts. You haven't committed one sin in our world. You know that isn't true. This outcome is something that I brought about. Go forth, as long as my mood is still good. Before long I will shroud this island in a storm again. Well then, I will have to take you home as a souvenir from the Golden Land. Alright, Battler. Look at him raising her up. So romantic. But, let me go. This is dangerous. Stop yapping already and listen to me, Beatrice. I will run away with you. Okay. But if you have sinned, then I have done so too for leading you there. So I ask you to let me share the burden of that cross. I will help you shoulder that cross all my life. Leave the Golden Land. Together with me. They do leave. Oh! Well, the seagulls are crying. There goes your frigging coat, bro. Will I be able to live though? Sure, you might not have a magical butler, but there are lots of things that don't exist on Okinjima. First, let's get your shoulder fixed at a hospital. Then, I will show you the world. Your world is too bright for a sinful witch like myself. Just try and live. If you want to make up for hundreds of sins, then do so by living. Live life to the fullest of your potential. That is the best way to atone for your sins. Is that the only way? Yes, and you will definitely atone for everything. I believe that. Battler, don't look at me. Don't look at me all teary-eyed. I'll get red. Kihihi. I am sorry. Oh, I'll get red, what I'm saying. I'll get red. I am sorry. Then would you at least close your eyes? She's gonna kiss you, bro. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Why should I close my eyes? You're too close. What a foolish man. You deserve a curse for lifting the witch from her golden land. I told you to close your eyes. It's embarrassing for me. He's closed his eyes. Okay. He's holding his hand. Or she's holding his hand. I said, yeah. You get what I mean? She's holding his hand. And she kisses him. Alright. God! Don't look! Don't look at my face! What? It's not like anything would happen though. Have you no shame? Don't you open them. Why? Because I want to kiss you one more time. Chu kisses his ear, you know. She kisses his ear. What's wrong with you? This is embarrassing. I'm sorry, Battler. Am I not an inhuman devilish witch? That you are. You're the worst and cruelest. I don't remember her shoulder being this busted up in the visual novel, or at least mentioned it to this degree. Am I remembering wrong? I don't remember that part. That's why I won't atone for my sins. Instead, I will roll about laughing about hundreds of deaths. I am that kind of witch. You truly are. But that really is like you. Yeah, and then she's gone. Yep. Yeah. The worst part is Battler jumps after her, bro. Because she already made her decision. She's like, alright, I'm gonna commit suicide, right? She kisses him, she's like, alright, I'm happy I got to kiss, my boyfriend like one last time, and then I'm gonna commit suicide, right? Battler decides to jump after her, though. That's something she should have expected, no? Beato? Yeah. So she's dead. She's not surviving this. With the gold tied to her foot? Oh yeah, now she's gonna just sink and die. I thought about wanting to die for so long, but if he left the island, then he would learn about my cursed body. Right. Oh my god. Just thinking of that, yeah. Yeah, that is one important aspect of her character. Because like I said, I remember when in one of the previous videos, I don't remember what she was assigned at birth. I think she was assigned male at birth, right? Yeah, she was born male, but either way, she lost her genitals during uh, mountain hill accident where Nazi threw her off the cliff. Yeah, Nazi threw her off the cliff. She causing a genital injury. They became mutilated. Basically, get Nandro talked about it. So yeah, her genitals don't work no more. She can't get pregnant because she's not a woman, or she wasn't born fertile. And beyond just that, even if she had, a penis and balls that worked from birth, the accident when she was a baby, I think, made them not function either, or something, or maybe, yeah. I mean, she says she has a cursed body, but really, it's a whole mess of an accident. Yeah, so she's not capable of, she's not fertile. Basically, she's not capable of having children, and that's why she's saying like, even if we do go out together and we have a happy life, I can't bear children for him, and yeah. Even if she was born as a woman, I think the whole thing was that she was born as a guy. Born male, I mean. Y'all can correct me on all that, but yeah, it's really unfortunate. I mean, it's an unfortunate story. Because her wish for Beato's, one of Beato's big wishes is to fall in love, right, with someone. I thought about wanting to die for so long, yeah. Even though you forgive me, I cannot forgive myself. I'm scared of that, so yeah. That time together was like a dream. It was more bliss than I could bear. Yes, so Battler jumped after her, because of course he would. I told you already I am the worst kind of witch, so I will not atone for my sins. Living won't make up for them. Foolish Battler. Even though you were so lucky to escape the island, you are willing to throw it away? The thought makes me happy, but the worlds we have to go to are of a different kind. I who cannot live in the world of truth will return to illusion, and you should return to your own world, the world of humans. No. Well, goodbye. Battle's dead as heck, cause she's gonna keep sinking. Battler's gonna rise back up. Farewell, Battler, and thank you. Yeah, rest in peace, Beato. Oh, or is she? Battler comes back once again. You think I'd let you escape? You're my golden witch alone. Stupid Battler, stupid Battler. If you long for the underworld, I shall sink there with you. If you long for the world of oblivion, I shall disappear with you. But until that last instance when we vanish, you will be mine alone. Hugs her one last time. The two of them became one and sank towards the underworld, and in a world of only darkness where nothing can be seen, they became a golden rose and shone. And softly it finally made its way onto the top of a tiny box, resting in a world of innocent, pure white sand. That is the cat box of Beatrice, resting peacefully at the bottom of a calm sea. This is a tale of the deep, deep bottom of the ocean, of how a gently glowing golden rose is sleeping in the world of the darkness of the abyss. A so very modest tale. That was a long couple of pages. This is... We're back here. The Golden Land? No. This is the world I desired. The world of the cat box? I ended up dragging you here with me. You who I wanted to live so much. You are so kind that you would jump in right after. If somebody jumped right before your eyes, I should have anticipated this. I should have known in advance, and yet... Where am I? What am I? Why am I here? And who are you? You don't remember anything? Anything at all? Is this our conclusion? Just continue to sway around in this cat box along with countless fragments? Without arriving anywhere? In this purgatory? No. I am the endless witch Beatrice. I will keep on waiting for you on the summit of this very Mount Purgatorio. So let us begin it here, what we could not bring to an end in our lifetime. A battle about whether it was a witch or a human. I will wait forever until you rip the me that is a witch apart and find the me that is our promise. Legend of the Golden Witch. This will surely be an eternal game and thus eternal torture. For you? For me? Let us hope that you shall weave a fitting conclusion for us both. Let us go towards our golden land. Episode 1 begins! So this is this is how episode 8 ends and shows how episode 1 began, right? One last chapter, y'all! And we're done! Oh, it's colored too and everything. Yeah, this is the unhuman party, because we got the tea party already in chapter 36. Which is an interesting way to do it, I think, but... Is the entire chapter colored? No, okay, only this cover part, alright. Whoa, Angie... Older Angie looks sick in the manga, okay. How much older is she here? How many years or decades is this in the future? She looks like she's in her 40s here even, not just 30s, 40s even. Look at the eye bags, bro. I would say it's at least been 15 years if you ask me. No, 20 or sorry, 20 years. She's 18. Yeah, she's definitely at least 20 years older at this point than she was at 18. Well, let's see. Ryu Jinja Literature Award Ceremony. No, this is they mentioned the year, don't they? 2008 was it? Is this 2008? That would be 10 years later. Nah, this is not no 28-year-old Angie. What type of 28-year-old looks like this, bro? Nah, what? Because this is her at 18, right? Makes sense. Is this her 10 years later? Ain't no way a 28-year-old looks like this, bro. Come on, man. How old are you making us look like? Come on. Come on. I think it's this little eye line. If this line wasn't there, I'd believe it. But this line makes her look like she's 40, bro. Alright. Ryu Ginger Literature Award Ceremony. Next, I would like to move your attention to the category of novels. The winning work should be well known to you all, ladies and gentlemen, as a series that caused a worldwide movement, continuing the unbroken advance of the fantasy adventure novel Sakutaro's Great Adventure. Congratulations, Kotobuki Yukari Sensei. Yeah, that's the new name she chose for herself. Alright, y'all, last chapter, episode 8 of the Golden Witch. Last chapter, yeah, it's called Golden Land. Yeah. And just carrying a treasure box with her. In the series Sakutaro's Great Adventure, we follow the journey of a cowardly vegetarian lion named Sakutaro. Did not know he was vegetarian. As he meets companions and grows while working hard in his search for that one treasured fragment in a thrilling fantasy adventure. You might all be aware of the fact that the key phrase "I'll become the king." Alright, "I'll become the king of the beasts" has been nominated for the award word of the year. Alright. Along with the start of its foreign language release last year, it experienced a breakthrough as a novel read by children and adults alike, and received high praise, which led to today's award. Yo, the grammar needs to be fixed in these chapters. Not great. I am very grateful and consider this award a high honor. Okay. It seems the eighth entry in the series, Sakutaro Towards the Island of the Witch, has caused a huge public reaction. It was reported that Kotobuki-sensei was diagnosed with an early stage of Whoa! Wait, I don't remember this. With an early stage of cancer while writing, but continued hitting the keyboard even while battling her illness. What is the source of this level of enthusiasm? Wait, I don't remember this. I don't remember that AG got cancer. What the frick? I completely forgot about that part. That's a big revelation. I am not finished passing on what I have yet to communicate. With every one new work that I write, if it manages to make just one more child understand the method of finding happiness, I want to use up my life to write that one work or even one more page. I am not yet done with telling the important lessons that I was gifted with. Kotobuki-sensei, okay, she looks younger here than in the cover. So maybe it really only has been 10 years? I don't know. I'm not confident that a 20-year-old woman is supposed to look like this. She looks like she's in her 30s at least. But that's just me. Alright, I honestly want to congratulate you about the award. But also she is a manga character, guys. It's not a real human being. So ages in drawing compared to, you know what I'm saying, a real human being, obviously. Gonna be different. I want to congratulate you about the award. The film adaptation also only got best reviews and has the power to even succeed Hari the Potato. What? What type of movie is that? Thank you. It is an honor. Oh, no, please. No, please, remain seated. I hear you are still in the recovery phase. Oh, she's... Okay, so she's recovering from her cancer. She got cancer, but she's recovering now. Alright, that's good. So she survived the cancer. I'm sorry. My name is Maru, head of the editing department of Maru Publishing. I actually have something very sudden to tell you. Are you familiar with Hachijo Toya sensei, the mystery author? Hachijo Toya. You're familiar with Hachijo sensei? Much even have met at some point? Yes, a long time ago. Just once. You see, Hachijo Toya... we use this drawing of her here. Okay. You see, Hachijo Toya sensei actually inquired about you. There is high interest in a private meeting. With me? Yes, not a phone conversation, but an actual private meeting face to face. If you will be so kind as to agree, I will take it upon myself to arrange the setting. Of course, I assure you, this is not a work-related conversation. I have not encountered Hachijo Toya after that one certain incident. At that time, I actually loathed her, who was the leading force behind the Rokkenjima mystery as a forgery author. But now I am actually quite grateful to her, due to the opening of the Ushirome Evast. Y'all know exactly why I stopped reading. You know, based on the pacing that I've been reading these chapters, you know, only an hour to finish these 3 chapters, I didn't expect to get so far into this OST mix video to get to this OST, but I'm so glad it somehow ended up being this long because this is my favorite soundtrack in Umineko! This and this color are so top tier. Alright, back to the chapter now. Due to the opening of Ushirome Eva's diary event that she headed and then cancelled, she returned an amount of critical thinking to toying around with a tragedy, and the Rokkenjima mystery drew to an end. Wait, what? I see, okay. As if it had been the push that I had needed, I stepped into my new life after that. It has all been reconciled now, but at the time I was involved in great trouble with the Sumadura family. To avoid them, I changed my name and moved into a new environment. Due to this, there is only a handful of people who know of my whereabouts, and of course, that Kotobuki Yukari is Angie. It wouldn't be weird for her to notice my true identity, but why would she ask for a meeting now of all times? I agree, so could I ask you to arrange a meeting in a quiet cafe next week on Sunday? Yes, I'm sure Hachijo Sensei will be more than happy. but I would like to keep this meeting between just Hachijo Sensei and me. Actually, there is a secret that I have to tell you. What? To tell you the truth, we present Hachijo Sensei as a single female writer to the public, but actually she's working with one more male author, and they both asked to meet with you. Oh, she's checking her time. I learned this recently. I've seen this recently. Been told this recently by someone. I don't know how true this is. Apparently, watches that are built or like this, where you put them and you have to look at them like this, like the way Angie's doing it now. Apparently, that's for women. Like that's a feminine way of doing it, or like these are watches made for women. Where the watches for guys, you're supposed to look at them as with your wrist up, like pointed at you, instead of down like this. You get what I'm saying, right? It's supposed to be the other way around. But apparently, this is a feminine way of doing it. Which, fair, I've never actually seen a guy hold, their arm like this to check their time in real life. I've only seen women do it. But I have also seen women do the quote-unquote masculine way of doing it, where say your wrists up. But I learned this literally last week, very, very recently, that, that this is how. This is apparently a feminine thing, and I didn't even know that. Apparently, like watches like this, where you place them with the time on top, so you have to you know, um, you have to turn your wrist over to be able to read the time. It's interesting. I feel like it's also inconvenient, but I mean, you get to choose, thankfully. I mean, if you're a woman, I mean, if you're a guy, this configuration will never apply to you regardless, right? But I didn't know that. I mean, I guess checking the time like this, just purely from a body language standpoint, is more feminine. Like, this is a feminine way of checking the time. Like, it's just like putting your hand up like this. Just you know what I'm saying? It is a feminine gesture in general. So from that POV, I guess. But I never even put it into mind or thought really. Like, I've always known that some people do it differently, or some people put their wrists up like this, but I never thought of it from a gender standpoint, that it has something to do with like masculine or feminine traits of or anything like that. But, so yeah, and this is what I was told as well, so I don't know how true that is. I haven't actually saying gotten confirmation, so you guys might tell me in the comments, I mean, you're wrong about this, it's nothing to do with gender, it's a lot of guys do this too, and fair enough. So maybe this is just what I heard from a trusted friend, I guess, last week. So I always had my doubts. Why did Hachizo Toya arrive at a truth that was so exceedingly close to something that only I had seen? Why was a person with no Tatsurushi in my family able to write inside information with so much accuracy? Actually, she's working with, yeah. Could it be that when Sakutaro's great adventure was showered with so much praise this year, the name Kotobuki Yukari reached his ears? A person who knows that I had played with a stuffed lion called Sakutaro, together with Maria One-chan. He who had a detective novel stacked in his room would have the skill to solve that mystery. People who fit this description are so very limited. No, you know who it is. I can only think of him alone. There's only one person it could be. Your brother! God damn, okay, he's old. How far into the future is this? He's got white hair, bro's looking old as hell. You're in bad shape. Or Hachijo Toya, I should say. Are you Kotobuki Yukari sensei? Yes, I am Kotobuki Yukari. This is Battler, or Hachijo Toya. It's not Battler because he doesn't have his memories. It has been quite a while. Last we met, I went by the name Hachijo Toya. I am Hachijo Ikuko. I am mostly in charge of the writing. And this is Toya. He is mostly in charge of the drafts. Hachijo-sensei, you have not changed the slightest bit since we last met. Witches did not age. Yeah, she actually has not aged at all. In however many decades it's been since they last met. At least a decade. At least 10 years. Well, I am sorry to pry. But are you two married? Oh man. We are not married, but we have been together for quite a long time. Quite true. Thinking about it, it has been quite some time. I am glad. At least he has not been lonely during all this time. Yeah. Angie knows exactly who this is. Well then, shall I speak, or will you take the part, Toya? I will speak for myself. I have not asked for the impossible today for nothing. I came here convinced that you might be the person I believe you to be. Her name is Ushirume Angie. By your works and your name, I am certain that you're Ushirume Angie, without any doubt. Yes, though it has been a long time since I abandoned going by that name. My real name is Ushiromiya Angie. Why are we behaving so distant? Aren't we? That's what I'm saying. Aren't you brothers and siblings? You know, saying you were so close together. Like you're behaving as if like you're colleagues or something. What is this, man? We both grew up, didn't we? Toya Sensei. Oh man, you both really did grow up. You still have this picture, you see? Oni-chan, your real name is Ushiromiya Battler, son, right? Wait, did they reveal this in the manga? I don't think in the visual novel. I don't think they explicitly did reveal that Toya is Battler, did they? They just heavily implied it to the point where everyone reading was like, "Yeah, that's Battler." Did maybe I'm remembering wrong, but did Angie ever say that directly? That yeah, your real name is Ushiromiya Battler? And same with Battler. Did he ever directly say that your name is Ushiromiya Angie? And for her to confirm it as well. Anto's Battler had the same reply. That is correct. She's crying now because she knows now that this is her brother, her long lost brother, huh? You survived. He did survive the incident. I am sorry to behave so improperly. This is your brother. You can cry. You don't have to apologize. You have spent decades all alone, believing the return of your family. So yeah, it has been decades, but I don't know exactly how many decades it's been. I swear they gave a year date in the visual novel. It was 2000 and something. So yeah, it's been at least 20 years since the incident. But the Angie's quote-unquote death happened in 1998, so I don't know how long it's been since then. Thank you for coming back alive, Battler Oni-chan. He's not fully quite your brother. You know, he's gonna hold your hand and stuff, but he's not actually your brother because he's lost his memories. But he understands that he is your brother, right? On that day, we fled through the underground tunnels. Those that connect to Kuadorian. I was told that they lead to a hidden mansion on the other side of the island. But we did not end up at Kuadorian, but in the direction of a submarine harbor and avoided the explosion. From there I escaped using a motorboat, but while on their way I assume I must have ended up capsizing. Assume? I apologize. Toya has suffered from memory impairment and his recollection of the events before and after falling to the ocean is hazy. In other words, for a while he had even forgotten that he's Tsushima Battler in the first place. She's nodding, confirming that. After the event, he seems to have drifted ashore somewhere and was then involved in a car accident while drifting around. I picked him up when I found him collapsed on the road. Had Ikuko-san noticed me just a moment later, I might have never again opened my eyes to this world. So yeah, Battler barely survived. Still in a wheelchair though, but at least he's alive. I still think you doubted me quite a while. If I hadn't been the one who had hit you. Ah, come on, I apologize for that. This is a summary I can agree with. My brother suffered memory loss either when he fell into the ocean or due to a traffic accident. Okay, so it was either because he fell into the ocean or because of the traffic accident. I always thought it's because he fell into the ocean and he suffered memory loss because, well, yeah, I mean, he couldn't get enough oxygen intake into the brain, right? And then so the brain was like suffer memory loss because of it, right? He suffered like brain damage or brain, what I'm saying, brain oxygen intake damage, which caused his current mental condition. As time passed, his memory returned, and based on his memory, Hachiro Toya began publishing forgeries under the name of Ito Ikikuro. But then why? Kotobuki sensei, when we meet that time before, I had already long found out about his real name. That is why I believed I should make the two of you meet face to face. When we met that time before, is what they're trying to say. Again, grammar has not been amazing for the manga, as I've mentioned several times, and spelling. Um, that's true. At that time, you should have already remembered me as well. Why don't you meet me with me back then? If you knew that I was your little sister, why? I refused to do so. I refused because I did not want to meet you. Why? You should have known that your little sister was living all alone while being crushed by loneliness. Why then? Why? I regret doing so now. Regret? Have you even once considered my feelings in this? What emotions I had to go through during those many decades? I deeply regret doing those horrible things to you. That is why I kept searching for you ever since. For your sake and for mine. We should have met so much earlier. Yeah, it would have been much better if you two had met earlier. Honestly, it would have. The moment Toya, you, and Ikuko realized that Angie, this is his sister, you should have met like 10 plus years ago. Man. Who's that next to Angie? Is that also Angie? The heck? Because that's Angie. Okay. Then why? Kotobuki sensei. As I've said before, he suffers from brain impairment. No, from brain damage. It's the after effects of the accident. Yeah. So it was either because he fell in the water, suffered brain damage, or because of the traffic accident. And we don't actually know which one it was. Huh. I was just assuming it was, brain damage because he almost drowned. But okay. But his memory came back, didn't it? The memory returned, but the after effects of the damage did not heal. I possess the memory of Ishiro Battler, but I have a brain disease that makes me unable to think of it as my own. Yeah, he thinks of it as a different person. Why do you look so old though? How many years has it been? How many decades? What the frick? This is 18-year-old Battler. This is freaking 60-year-old Battler. It's already been 40 years. Is the year 2026? Yeah, 40 years since 1986. That's what I'm saying. People born in 1986 are currently about to turn 40. It's gotta be. I mean, so what did Ancient Battler mean in 2046? In 2026, I mean, like next year? Even though the events happen in 1986? Because this Battler looks old, bro. Because 1986, yeah, so Battler was born in 1968. Which, yeah, it will make him 58 years old next year. This looks like a 58-year-old Battler, because what the heck, man? Okay, anyway, yeah. Unable to think of it as your own? Yes. My memory of the events before and after my escape from the island are still hazy. But apart from that, almost everything has come back to me. For example, the pink hair accessories that you treasured so much. I remember that I got them from the game corner of an amusement park. Yes, I treasure them to this day. Dang, that's actually crazy. That's a long time, so still have it. There is more. The fact that you hated seaweed and how troubled your mother was over it. Really, that's that big of a problem? How you tried to trick her by shoveling it all on my plate. But if you remember so much, how can you not accept it as your own? That is the extent of the damage to my brain. I went to so many hospitals, but there is nothing that can be done. You will not be able to understand this, but the feeling of an unknown man's memory one day suddenly flooding your head is incredibly terrifying. Yeah, because then you won't be you anymore, if you think about it. They were harsh and horrifying days. It was as if my head were to be eroded from the inside by this man I didn't know. And that's an additional reason why he didn't meet you, Angie. Because if he did, what if Battler's personality completely took over? You think about it. His memories completely took over, and then his identity will be gone. His new identity that he gained. I was afraid that if I were to go to sleep today, that I would never awaken again, and from the next day onwards, another man would be living his life using my body. This fear kept tormenting me. He tried to convince himself that they were his real memories many times. He told himself that he was Ishima Battler over and over again. But it was all useless. I am Hachijo Toya. No matter how many memories of Ishima Battlers gush forth from my head, they remain a stranger's memories. I was incapable to accept Ishima Battler into myself. He is stuck between being himself and being this. Yeah, he's stuck between being himself and being this other self. So one day, like a spastic fit. Luckily, he got away with his life, but due to the after effects, he will have to spend the rest of the rest of his life in a wheelchair. That is, I can't. Yet he did put up a fight. More than having Ishima Battler within himself, he saw it to be his duty to meet with you, the little sister, and fought on in the rift between his two selves. That is the very reason why he reacted to the hints towards you, changing your name by meeting you here today. But even then, to be honest, I did not get a second of sleep last night. I was so afraid of meeting you. If maybe by meeting you I'd end up dying, I was so terribly afraid of that. Yet here I am, talking to you like any person would. That is why I regret it so. If I had met with you even sooner, you and also the Shuma Battler within me, they might have gone without suffering on for all these years and months. That is inexcusable. He's crying. So alas, Ushiruma Battler really did die on that day. Was that the reason why Burncastle kept repeating the wrecked truth that my brother had died over and over? At the time when the Ushirokinjima mystery was getting popular on the internet, I picked up a single message bottle, and Toya regained the memory that he had lost. Going by his testimony, I was convinced that the message was the real deal, sent by the mastermind. It was me, it was my fault. After reading it, Toya was tormented for a long time by the feeling of guilt resulting from his memory of his other self. Due to the fault of a person named Battler, a great many people died. If Battler had tried, he might have been able to save them. That is me! It's not me! Did I live my carefree life until now by forgetting such a tragedy? That is not me! For Toya, Rokkenjima were days like hell that he couldn't rip his mind away from. So, in that case, as an offering to the witch that he said vanished into the sea, and also with the intent to indict the culprit, Ushiruma Eva, I proposed to him to write a forgery together. Culprit? At that time, Toya firmly believed that, going by his own memory, Ushiromiya Eva was the culprit for mass murder. Any corpse I haven't seen would be Eva. Yeah, it's understandable why you'd think Eva was the culprit, based on everything Battler had experienced, even though she wasn't. She is the third person singular form of son. It's rarely used by young adults and shows a certain respect for the person you're talking about. Okay. So at the time when we had released several works, starting with Banquet was the first work? That makes sense, and that's why episode 3 is the closest to the truth. If you think about it, they started with releasing Banquet first, right? But episode 3 is the closest episode to the actual truth. Well, to the one truth, right? The book of the one truth. Because it has Eva escaping to Godorian. but it and has ever teach and ever escaped Dorian. A lot of the events in episode 3 mimic the real truth, which makes sense based on how, yeah, that was the first book Toya wrote and from the memories that he himself had gotten from the island. And why Evati chose the culprit of episode 3, right? It makes sense. Ishiromiya Evashi herself came asking for us. Huh? Eva Obasan? Oh, Eva herself? Like you, she as well understood that Ito Ikikuro is Hachijo Toya. But even more clearly, she came to us convinced that the author of those forgeries... Wait, what? Like you, she as well understood that Ito Ikikuro is Hachijo Toya. But even more clearly, she came to us convinced that the author of those forgeries must have been a survivor of that incident. So he really did survive, Patrick-kun. That was when the three of us shared the truth of that day. Having Ikuko listen to it as an impartial third party, I learned of the tragedy that happened in the hidden VIP room on that day, while Battler was not present. Damn. I don't think they revealed this much in the manga, in the visual novel. So Eva learned of this, reached out to them, and then told them the whole truth of what really happened. That's crazy. What a mess! Yes, I was feeling unsure about it from the start. Going by Batra's memory, she was not the person to murder her son and husband. Yeah, because that was the big thing, right? Is like, if she was the culprit, why would she kill her own husband and son? But if it was Kiri and Rudolph, it makes sense. And then, yeah, Battler didn't die. Yeah. Then all doubts melted away. Yeah, it was your parents, Inji. When I arrived at that point and became the leading force behind the Rokujima mystery, I understood what pain I had inflicted on my little sister. I became convinced that I had to lay both the Rokujima mystery and the truth of that day to rest. I took it upon myself to collect the key to Madame Eva's diary, says Ikuko here. When a time came when you gained the diary, made your way to Hachijo Toya, and with real conviction wanted the truth of that day, I would have you decide on your own whether you wanted to know it or not. The rest is as you know it as well. Eva Obasan. Please forgive me. One more thing, Kotobuki sensei. I caused horrible pain to you by becoming a forgery author after the incident. Even though I am your brother, I left my little sister all alone without even meeting her. Please, somehow, forgive me. Thanks to Eva Obasan and those two here, I was able to step into my future and Rokujima has been put to rest. But this man kept on and on, tormenting himself until today. Please, raise your head, Toya-sensei. You have been tormenting yourself quite a lot. For me, it was enough that you came out here to meet me today. It is alright, because I was not at all alone. Yeah. The witch of Rokujima was surely also pleased with your forgeries and is at rest now. Thank you, Oni-san. Thank you for going through with meeting me today. It has gone quite late already. Thank you for keeping me company for so long after coming so far out here. Not at all. I'm glad that we could meet, Kotobuki-sensei. I'm glad that I could hear some stories of the past. Thank you, Toya-sensei. It might be better if we did not meet again. You have your own life to live, Toya-sensei. Well, Kotobuki-sensei, can we meet just one more time after this? What? I want to see with my own eyes that rumored orphanage that you are sponsoring. But that is, I know. That is why I want to go. I understand. Well then. Halloween party! If this day suits you, please. Halloween! Halloween! Kotobuki sensei. The Fukuin house. Splendid, isn't it? It's the first time for me to come here, but I know it well. It is an institution to support children, backed by the Ishiruma family. It ran into financial troubles after the incident on Rokujima and was closed down, but then you opened it up again. It is nothing big, but it's for the children in this institution. That is way too. That was not my intent for. Compared to your effort that you spent by financing this place on your own, this is nothing. Children are a treasure in the future, so please make use of it. Okay. Yukai-sensei! What is it, Yume-chan? Does my mama really not come back to life? Ah, today's Halloween, so the dead come back to visit us, don't they? Won't my mama come back to visit me someday? I wanted to see her so bad. Bro, this is so freaking sad. Imagine working at an just because of this alone, I don't think I could work at an orphanage, man. If a little girl comes at me like for an orphanage, like, please, will my mother come back to life? I'll be there, like, oh my god, you deserve better, bro. Every child deserves parents, man. Oh my goodness. Orphanages are just, I don't know, inherent. Like, this is amazing. People who work at orphanages, y'all do amazing work, genuinely. But inherently, it's kind of sad. It's just children that don't have parents. It really sucks for various reasons. Yume-chan, it's sad, but those who die cannot come back. So, Mama won't come back? But since today is Halloween, okay, this OST does not fit. Go to the next one. Alright, that could work. But since today is Halloween, the distance between the living and the dead is really small. Go on, close your eyes. Try a little to remember your mother. Yeah, magic tricks. See, guys? Magic is real. And how is your mother? What does she say? Be good and eat your tomatoes. Right. What else? She's a little worried, so she will give me a hug. That's right. See, now that you feel your mother so close to your chest. So close. You feel your mother so close. Your chest is so warm, right? So it is alright. Your mother can't come back, but she's always in here. And oh, so it's alright. That's what she says after. And just like you can feel your mother close, she can feel her Yume-chan close as well today. Laugh a lot today. Send your beloved mother lots of happy smiles. You see, just because of this, just because of what Angie's doing here, Halloween will really be a special day for these children, even when they grow up. Because they'll grow up thinking Halloween is when we can be closest to our dead parents or to our disappeared or gone parents, right? And it's a day where like you get close to the dead. I feel like that's an interesting way to think of Halloween. You know, for me, Halloween is just another day, and it's never impacted my life at all, basically to any major degree. I never thought about it like that. You know, I've never worn a Halloween costume or anything like that, right? Never been part of a Halloween party, so I've never thought of Halloween as a big deal. But the way they're doing it here in Umineko, if I was one of these children, I'd think of Halloween as a big deal, because you know, as a way to connect to my dead parents. I mean, she said that she was her mother was dead, so in this case, dead parent. But orphans aren't always orphans because their parents are dead, though. Or actually, maybe they are. What's the definition of being an orphan? Maybe the definition of being an orphan is that your parent has to be dead, right? But I just thought it meant that the parent is gone from your life. A child or young animal whose parents are dead. Fair enough, I was wrong, see? A child does, being an orphan does mean by necessity that your parents are dead. Okay, fair enough. Because because you know, in my mind, an orphan could have also been a child whose parents left him for whatever reason, right? And in that sense, you're still an orphan, but just your parents are gone. But no, I guess they need to be dead. Okay. Because children like that exist. Let's not forget, children like that exist. Children whose parents left them, right? Sometimes, a lot of the times, actually, it's more common that one of the parents leave, right? Like the husband or the dad, right, leaves for milk. That's the whole joke, right? And so they're raised by a single mother. Sometimes, or this is much more rare, but it does happen to you. The mother leaves and the dad has to raise the child, the single parent. But instances where both parents leave, or maybe one parent dies and the other leaves or something, that also happens too, and that the child in that sense is left as kind of an orphan, but she's not, or he or she's not fully an orphan because one of the parents is still alive but doesn't or can't or for whatever reason isn't there for their child's life. Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. I mean, most of the times an orphan will be an orphan because their parents are dead, right? Or also because of war, right? Warfare, refugees. A lot of refugee kids can be orphans in that sense, even though their parents are unknown status, dead or alive. You know, can get complicated in that sense. Laugh a lot today. Send your beloved mother lots of happy smiles. Okay. And she runs back off. To bring the life back to a child's sad face. You are the real thing. You know, for real. Angie's so good at that. Everyone can use magic to create a future and find a fragment of happiness. This is a witch school that teaches that kind of magic. So it's like the dormitory of the witches in Sakutaro's Great Adventure, right? You actually read my work? Now this is embarrassing. Your writing skill is unparalleled. I have to bow my head before such a warm and friendly heart. Well then, Toya-sensei, here you are. This guy looks like a Makusa or something. He looks like, what he actually looks like? He looks like Zexion from Kingdom Hearts. Google him, I can't be bothered Googling him now. Google him if you want to know more about him. Or who I'm talking about, how he looks like. Alright, specifically from Kingdom Hearts 3, actually. But okay, I see, we are doing trick or treat. Please, tell the children of all your wonderful dreams. They are all so happy to have visitors. It has been years since I was last around children. What should I talk to them about? Let's choose a publisher that handles manuscripts really well. Pay no attention to reader surveys. Okay. He's shaking. Toya-sensei, don't strain yourself. No. Kotobiki-sensei, if it really is here, then I want to head straight towards it. Whoa, there's the portrait of Beto as well. Yeah, sick. That is unbelievable. You really did reconstruct the hall of the Ishirome mansion in the Fukuin house. Yes, but since I did it all from my memory, there might be small details that are off. No, this really is the hall in the Ishirome mansion. The painter who did the portrait on the order of Ishirome Kinzo still had the photograph. I made him paint it based on that. Ah, so it's still pretty authentic. When was this photograph taken? And is this the photograph of the second Beato? No, I guess it could have been the photograph of the first Beato, before the first Beato died. Because the first Beato died giving birth to the second Beato. This could have been a photograph before she even got pregnant. Kinzo could have, done that and then had a painter paint this. But for the painter to still be alive now? Probably not alive now, but alive when Angie went to the painter to have him or her paint this again. Probably not alive now though, because the painter would need to be like, what, 100 plus, or maybe not 100 years old, but depends on when Kinzo asked to have this painted. But I'm assuming 1940s, 50s maybe. So the painter would be very, very old to still be alive. They need to be like around my grandmother's age for them to still be alive, which is doable, you know. My grandmother is in her 90s. She could be 90 something years old and still alive, I guess. I guess the painter could still be alive. Now. My grandmother was born in the year 19... We don't actually know the month and date. They didn't actually write that down during her birth. But my grandmother, my paternal grandmother. She was born in 1933. Yes, the same year Hitler came to power in Germany. Correct. That same year. Yep. Correct. 1933. Yes. So she was 12 when World War II ended. Interesting. Yeah. And how old will she be now then? Yeah, 92 then. Yeah, she's 92 as of this year. Like I said, they don't know the exact date she was born. They only know the year. So they don't know what month or day that my grandmother was born in. But they know the year. Yeah. They were able to estimate it, I guess I more should say, or not estimate it, but correctly deduce it from. Yeah, because that's how a lot of it is, right? Like for example, my dad, they also didn't take exact note of when he was born, when my grandmother gave birth to him, but they know that the year was 1959. So my grandmother, grandmother was born in 1933. She gave birth to my dad in 1959, but they don't know. They know the month, but they don't know the exact date. The reason why they know the month exactly is because my dad was definitely born before. They know for a fact my dad was definitely born before someone was born at the end of January, like January 28th or something like that, January 27th, and they know for a fact he was born after someone that was born in December of the previous year, 1958. So it was like the end of December. So they know for sure my dad was born in January. They just don't know the exact date because they didn't keep track of the date at the time. So my dad doesn't know the exact day and year. My mom does know though. My mom does know the exact day and month she was born. But her parents don't. But I believe my mother knows and her uncle, my uncles on my mom's side of family all know their birth dates and years. But my dad does not know exactly on what day he was born. Which is, I mean, it is what it is. My dad's lived fine without it. You don't need, technically, you don't really need to know the exact, even you don't really need to know the exact year you're born, but it's nice to know. It's not bad knowledge to know the exact year you're born. And my dad does have the exact year, just and the exact month. That's good enough, I'd say. If you have the month and the year, that's good enough. My dad's probably satisfied with that. Even without the month, he'd probably be satisfied. Okay, I was born early 1959. I'll take it. Cool. Yeah, for me, yeah, I obviously have the exact date and year. My mom was even like, I mean, I know at what time you were born. It was 9 p.m. She was like, I remember giving birth to you at 9 p.m. So I know the day, the month, the year, obviously, but I also know the hour I was born in, right? The hour I popped out of there. Um, so that's yeah. That's extra information. I didn't even ask my mom that. My mom was like, "But a fun fact that you're born at 9 p.m., 9 in the evening." So, okay. Anyway, alright, alright. And I was also the last child my mother decided to have. I'm the youngest sibling. I think I've said this before though. Oh no, I'm the youngest sibling. My mom was like, "Alright, give birth to this child 9 p.m. Cool, done. No more children." Cool, cool, cool. We're raising these three we have now. That's it. That is not the convention my grandparents went with. Oh boy, my grandparents both had way more than just three children. my dad's grandma, my dad's mom especially. She had several stillbirths. As well, the children she already has, she has several stillbirths. I think if you count all the stillbirths as well, my grandmother would have been pregnant, if you just do the math, she would have been pregnant for like 20 years of her life straight. Something like that. Because she gave birth to like 11, 12 children. I guess maybe not 20 years, but at least 15 years. She gave birth to like 11, 12 children and had like 3 stillbirths. I think she had 3 stillbirths and gave birth to 11 or 12 children in total. Because I've got 7 aunts and 2. Yeah, no, she gave birth to 10 children or 9. And then had 3 stillbirths. So if you do the math, you need 9 months in between each pregnancy, between each birth, to give birth to more. And I mean, I don't know if she was immediately getting pregnant after giving birth to a child, or she had some a cool down period. She's like, whew, just gave birth to this child. Now let's wait a month before we try again for another child. I don't know how my grandmother was doing it, but nah, she went crazy. That sounds wild. She went crazy. Now she was like, cause she had her first child was a quote unquote success. No stillbirths, and then I think she had my aunt. So she had my oldest aunt, then she had another aunt, or maybe she had my oldest aunt and then a stillbirth and then my second aunt. I don't know, but I think she had these 2 aunts, and then she had a stillbirth of 2, and then my dad was born. Right? and then she gave birth to more children to my other aunts, and then my uncle, and then I think she had another stillbirth at some point, and then gave birth to more children. To the point where my oldest aunt, the one that was first born, right, my dad's oldest sister, um, she became pregnant and was about to give birth around the same time that my grandmother gave birth to her youngest daughter. So basically, there's like only a couple months gap, or a little less than a year gap, between my youngest aunt and my cousin, my oldest cousin. Only a couple. So they actually grew up together as if they were siblings, even though one of them is technically the aunt of the other, right? My youngest aunt is technically my cousin's aunt, but they grew up together. Both grew up in the 80s together, right? Which is weird to think about. Even weirder, yeah, because when I was born, right, I had a cousin that was 20 years older than me. That was a bit weird, right? Because she's here like, you know, I remember her. I remember being 6 years old or whatever, running around, and she's there like almost 30 years old. I'm here like, that's my cousin. Like, that's just something I have to get used to. I have a cousin that's like almost 30. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I'm not the same age that she was when I was running around as a 6 year old and she was like looking out for me. My oldest cousin, I mean. And yeah, my oldest cousin right now, yeah, she's in her 40s, bro. She decided not to have children though, so she doesn't have children of her own. Her youngest sister did decide to have children, so she does have a son that's like, what, 8 years old now or something? 7 years old, something like that. But her older sister decided not to. But her sister is also over the age of 40 though. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was born before 1985. Yeah. Anyway, back to Minako. Sorry about the family tangent stuff, business. My grandmother's a trooper. That's my dad even said this. I talked to my dad himself about this. I was like, wait a minute, considering how many children, I mean, how many siblings you guys are, and how many stillbirths she had, your mom was pregnant for like 15 years straight. She's a trooper, man. I told this to my dad. I was like, yeah, my mom is a trooper. That's my dad. That's what my dad said. My mom is really strong, and she's still alive, by the way. Right? She's still alive and kicking. Hey, my grandmother's still healthy. Gave birth to all those children. Was pregnant for all those years. Had how many children? Like 10 children? A few stillbirths? She's 92, still alive and kicking. Health is wealth, y'all. She took care of herself. She has a good diet. Hey, she takes care of herself. She's doing good. Although, at her old age now, she has people helping her out, obviously, doing day-to-day stuff. You know, when you're 92, you kind of need that. So she has her children still help out. Although her children themselves are actually getting up there in age. I can't lie, right? My oldest aunt by this point is definitely above the age of 70, for example. So, think about it like that. Yeah. Or maybe she... I say above the age... My oldest aunt is probably around, yeah, 70, 71 years old. So even her children are getting up to in age. And then, yeah, her children's children are, you know, they're still in their 40s, I guess. So they're still going. But anyway... Alright, now everyone, new guests have arrived, says Angie. Alright, we are almost done with this last chapter. Alright. It's been over 2 hours. I'm going based off the length of the OST video. This is by far... But these chapters have been longer because there's more to read and stuff. So these chapters have been way longer to read. The children come. This guy even looks like Battler, bro. Oh, this reminds him of his childhood, maybe? Ah, Mamon. Dang, all the stakes. Sorry, guys, my scroll wheel is, oh, not my scroll wheel, but it's been a bit buggy right now, but I'm trying to move through this chapter. I'm trying to finish this for you. I'm sorry. You are quite late. You've made it. You really took your time. Eva. Oh, wait, you're going too far. Finally, you made it here. Eva, Hideyoshi, Rosa, Kitty, and Rudolph. Gosh darn, bro. Jessica, Canon, Shannon, George. Finally, you made it here. Ooh, slow! I'm getting tired of waiting for you, Battler. Gosh darn, okay. Wow. Oh, there's her looking at her younger self. Alright, Angie. And there's Battler. Hey, me. Why am I sitting in a wheelchair? I will lend you a hand. So hop and get up. Ah, that's nice. Ah, sick. Sick. Young Battler pops out. Very sick. He's done. He's going back. You are incompetent in red. Oh, that was crazy. That's still one of the craziest things to happen in that visual novel. The fact that she told him that in red, when I first read that, bro, I lost my mind. That's still one of my favorite scenes in that visual novel. Her saying in red, "You are incompetent," is crazy. Up until that point, the red truth had not been used like that. It had only been used to say things that were objective. That was like a subjective red statement. I felt. I mean, obviously it's clear objective because it's red, but she said, "You are incompetent." I was like, "What? You can say that in red about someone?" I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. It took a long time. Ooh, am I a liar? Witches never have a change of heart. Farewell. Yes. Or a lover. Gosh darn them. Scroll wheel. It's bugging. Everything's bugging, y'all. Oh, okay. We're going too far. We're going too far. Gosh darn it. Why is this scroller struggling like this? Alright. As you are right now, there's nothing you cannot overcome. Well then, this is a goodbye. Alright. Oh, this is the end of the episode. Listen, we are finally all gathered here. Tonight the golden land shall revive here. Okay, we can go down now. Gosh darn it, we can go down now. Scroll wheel, help me out, we're almost done with the freaking manga. Tonight the golden land shall revive here. Alright, go down, please. Please? Guys, we're getting through this, don't worry. I feel like even the freaking... I don't have a lot of things running. I don't have anything running in the background. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay. Everyone, here's the entire family. Oh, scroll wheel is doing its thing. It's going down. Alright. Whoa. There's Angie looking at younger Angie. Can we... No? No? Okay. Scroll is doing its thing. At last, you came back. I will never let go again. Okay, it's worked now. Oh my god. Alright. Gosh darn it, y'all. Guys, if you're wondering, every single input I'm making is taking into effect like 10 seconds later. Whoa, 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 whoa. So these are inputs from like 10 seconds ago. Okay. Wow, we're going all the way back up here, huh? Okay, wow. Guys, I cannot control this. Wow. Okay, we're going back down now. I'm not touching the scroll wheel at all now. So this is just however far you decide to go, scroll wheel. Oh, 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 stop. Okay, you can stop. You can. Oh, okay, that's the okay. That's the end of the chapter anyway. We're almost done. All right, cool. Holy crap. Okay, at last you came back. I will never let go again. We're almost done. Yes, neither will I. All right, we're almost done. They hug each other, and that's it. That's the end. No, wait. We are together forever. That's the end. All right, that's it. Back to detail. Okay, we're done. We are done, everybody. We can stop the soundtrack. Whoa, that's a spooky view. When did this happen? Was this when was it Nazi died in episode 2? Episode death in episode 2. Nazis definitely episode 2. Okay, we are done. Oh yeah, scroll wheel's still bugging about. I think it's because okay, I probably need to restart my laptop here real quick. But we're done. That was the manga for episode 8 of Umineko, y'all. Wow. Okay. The manga for some reason for a lot of things gave me a bit more of a sense of closure than the visual novel did. I feel more complete now reading the manga than the visual novel. Those are my immediate thoughts. I felt part of that's because we got a lot more explicit closure with stuff like Battler saying yes I am, or Toya saying yes I am Battler, and Yukari saying, Kotobuki saying yes I am Angie, and then getting the confirmation that Eva visited them already while she's still alive because she noticed that wait a minute, this Ito Ikikuro person is related to the incident and has to have been written by someone who was directly involved in the incident. Gave Battler the confirmation, or Toya the confirmation of what really happened during that incident, the one truth. And that's when Battler learned that, yeah, it was Kitty and Rudolph, yeah, his parents that did it. Uh, that entire confirmation was big, that all of that happened. And getting it all so explicit here in the manga, I think was good. So, yeah, I feel a bit more of a sense of closure. I definitely like the manga version. Um, it was nice to read an entire episode in the manga version as just in general compared to the visual novel. Uh, I would say, you might be asking, okay, I mean, do you prefer the manga or the visual novel? Considering I've only read one out of the 8 episodes in the manga, I haven't read all the others. I don't plan to either because I've heard that they're worse. Um, if I go just based off episode 8, there's definitely benefits to the manga if you ask me. Um, the same atmosphere is not there. I mean, to begin with, for me to replicate the atmosphere, I had to go to YouTube and, you know, search up an Umineko mix, and even then, that couldn't replicate it properly. Whereas if you read the visual novel, you have the music, which to me is a very important part of Umineko, which is why I put the music in when I was reading the manga because I don't think it would hit as hard. In the visual novel, you already have that, and voice acting, which to me is a big deal. Both of those things are things that are in the visual novel that aren't in the manga, which to me are big deals. Um, but beyond that, yeah, the visual novel goes into more detail about certain things. Although not for episode 8. Again, the manga for episode 8, yes, it goes into less detail in general, but when it comes to the reveals, it's a lot more explicit. It's not as hidden away from you. The confession being the most glaring one out of that. But how the manga goes about, doing episodes 1 through, well, episode 1 through 4, the question arcs in general, where there's no reveals, it's just question arcs. That I feel like that's the real decider of like how I can judge the manga compared to the visual novel. But if I go just based off of this, I like the manga adaptation. I really like the artwork. I think the artwork fits really well for Umineko in general. Um, I've praised it several times. I like a lot of the spreads. I like what they do here. Um, you know, the only complaints that I've had throughout the entire thing wasn't even a manga specific issue, at least not from the Japanese creator side. It was from the translation side, the way they had a lot of grammatical errors, which are easy to fix, to be honest. But that's not even, again, that's not even the fault of the people who made the manga, right? That's just the people who translated from Japanese. But yeah, or the people who like letter and stuff and check for grammatical errors. They could have done better, no, surely. Um, if they even had anyone checking for grammatical errors, that might be another reason. But yeah, this is it. This is it for the Minako manga. This is it for Minako in general. Beyond the extra stuff that you guys want me to read, but if you know what I'm saying, like yeah, there are extra stuff you all want me to read, but it's extra stuff. It's not part of the main story, or it's not part. You know what I'm saying? It's not part of the whole visual novel and stuff. Or else it wouldn't be part of the visual novel if it was that important to tell. So it's extra stuff. I'm sure we get to see more of the characters being lively again. Which I'm kind of. That's really what I'm excited about. Is just seeing more sides to the characters that I've come to really enjoy being around and stuff like that. So yeah. But that's it for Mineko. What a journey! 300 plus videos. Incredible, incredible stuff, y'all. Incredible work. Yeah, Umineko is definitely up there on things that I've read for sure. Like I said, anything that gives me a long-lasting life lesson like Umineko is a big deal for me. With the whole magic stuff, that was like one big takeaway for me. And then the other one is actually not what you guys might expect, but it's actually regarding Kanon and Jessica's relationship, which is something that y'all told me in the comments, and that'll give me a different view. I don't want to get into detail for it now. I can quickly give you a summary. Basically, there was one scene where Kanon was standing, and Jessica wanted him to sit next to her, but she didn't want to say it out loud because she wanted him to do it off his own accord. And I think in the video, I was criticizing her, saying like, "Bro, just tell him to say. He'll be willing to do it. Why don't you just tell him to say next to you?" I was like, I've always been a blunt person, which I still am. I'm still a blunt person. I always say things directly. Um, but then someone in the comments told me, and this is actually really important, is that, but would it have felt as good for Jessica? Probably not. Think about it this way, especially because Kanon is her servant. If she tells him to do something, he'll say, "Hi, I'll do this for you, right? Like I'll do this, yes sir, yeah, yes ma'am. Right? I'll make tea or coffee for you." He's her servant, but she doesn't want that from him. She wants him to be her boyfriend. She wants to see him as a boyfriend, and she wants him to see her as his girlfriend, not a master that he needs to serve. So that's an additional reason why she wanted him to do it on of his own accord. But she didn't want to say it out loud, so it's a bit messy. But even if he wasn't her servant, the commenter brought up a good point that yeah, like sometimes when you tell someone to do something, of course they'll do it, and you can be blunt about it. But it's not the same if you notice that they do it of their own accord, that they themselves like saying notice, hey, something wrong, and are open enough about that and doing it on their own. And that gave me that extra perspective that I didn't really have before, because I've always been raised in an environment of just be open communication, just be blunt. If you need something, if you want something, do it. And in almost every case, it has worked out for me in life. But there are small cases where um, there is ambiguity in it's very specific contexts and scenarios, and it's not something I'd ever thought about in my life before reading Mineko. So that's another big lesson that Mineko taught me, to basically be more proactive with communication. You know, open, blunt communication is still very important. That's still my number one priority. But when there are times where I can be ambiguous, and that's something that can be trained by me for sure. Um, so yeah, it's basically like when if you're gonna give a girl flowers, you could wait until she asks you, like, hey, could you buy flowers for me? Sure. I mean, it's great and all, but a lot of a girl would often prefer if you did of your own accord, because you wanna show her your appreciation, that you are really into her, that you wanna, um, you know, put effort into her. You know what I'm saying? So you buy her flowers, right? Then the girl will be like, "Oh, it's a surprise! Whoa, it's like this is showing me that you really care." Rather than if she asks you, like, "Yes, that's open communication. Yes, it's good and all, but not quite the same as when you buy it off your own accord, or because you intentionally do it on your own." And I've kind of gotten better at understanding that, but I'm still holding true to my whole open communication area, right? You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, that's basically it. Especially as a person who well, I don't really want to get into that actually right now. Yeah, I don't want to get into that right now. Or maybe I should. Nah. Do I want to talk about my love life here at the end of Umineko? At the end of the Umineko manga, should I talk about my personal love life? Alright, I'll put it like this, alright? Um, I've never asked a girl out on a date before in my entire life. And when I did it some time ago, I'll just say it like that. I got rejected, but um the point here is that I was openly communicating with her, and she was equally openly communicating with me. So I feel like things ended quite amicably. Um, I will not ask a girl out either on a date or to be in a relationship if I deemed her to not be a mature enough person to be open with communication, to be a good person, a kind person in general, in that sense. So yeah, when I did ask her and she rejected me, I was pretty open, pretty clear about everything, about my intentions, and about how, yeah, I still think it is fine to be, just acquaintances or just friends. I was down, and she said, yeah, sure. And I even told her, you know, this very thing that I'm telling you now, that I only asked her because I felt like she was a good communicator and a kind person, and not the type of person to be like, to reject me and then talk behind my, because there's how some people are like that. They're, they're people I would say are not quite good people, where, you know you might ask a different girl out that isn't quite like the girl that I asked out, and then she goes behind her back and tells her friends like, yo, that weirdo guy, he asked me out on a date, or something like that, right? I knew that she wasn't that type of person, and I told her this directly because, again, I've always been taught to be, open with my communication since I was a child, and so that's what I got used to. And she said that she appreciated the words, and she was also very openly communicative with me. And then she said goodbye, and I said goodbye, cool. And yeah, we've still talked since then, but yeah, I have no romantic feelings for her now. I'm obviously it's over, right? I mean, whatever. And yeah, that's about it. So uh, so in that sense, open communication works. If you're gonna ask someone out, open communication works. It works well. I think, especially because we're adults now. I mean, teenage relationships. I was not part of the teenage relationship, gang. So communication is obviously gonna be a bit, what I'm saying, iffy when it comes to teenagers. But when it comes to adults, open communication. I feel like if everyone's open with their communication, it shouldn't, or probably wouldn't really arise any problems if everyone's just very clear. Like, okay, I'm looking for a relationship, no games, no bullcrap, just straight up. And then someone's like, all right, agree with their relationship, agree with their communication. It shouldn't cause any problems in that sense. But yeah, Umineko. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that Umineko, not just with Jack and Conan, but also with Beatrice in general, with Battler, with the whole game board stuff, the way she left everything to fate, shows the nuanced side of it. Although, like I said, teenagers and, communication, and also they were all impacted, by. I mean, Yasuda in general was Beato was impacted by traumatic childhood, right? Didn't leave her best rusted for those type of topics. Joe and Jessica had their own challenges in their childhood, so um, yeah. But Umineko does put it all into a certain context. However, most of us are not children of a rich family that have to take over family business, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Most of us are just regular people. So, but there's still a lot of lessons to take away from this, regardless. So, yeah. Umineko basically, I'm trying to say, Umineko very um uh teaches you a lot of life lessons. Definitely, definitely. And reminds you of several as well. Any series or any story with that type of message, I think, uh, is a great work. Another one I want to bring up is Frieren. I think Frieren as well teaches it, reminds you of those type of life lessons. We're getting season 2 soon in January 2026, so in a couple of months from now. Um, so we'll get to see more of that, and yeah. But not many stories have managed to give me that sense of like, whoa, okay, this is taught me something really important, that I'm glad I watched this, I'm glad I read this, and I'm taking it seriously to heart and moving on with it. Umineko is one of those few stories. To no surprise to any of you, One Piece is another one of those stories. People see One Piece as just a children's story. Haha, stupid kid wants to find, some treasure, whatever. It's just dumb shonen. Da, da, da. People will say that, but genuinely, genuinely, there is so much richness to One Piece that to me, it is so. it is so I don't I just it's fine. It's so disrespectful to just say it's just another generic shonen or whatever. Just one of those old shonens that you can just ignore. I think there's so much to One Piece, so much that maybe people choose to ignore or something. I don't know, but um and no other shonen is like this. I 100% appreciate Naruto, Bleach, even more modern shonen like Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia. It's not that I don't. It's not that I don't have any good stuff. But to me, One Piece does something really special and different, and I don't know how to explain it right off the bat here, but none of those other shonen that I mentioned have what One Piece have for me, right? In the way that it teaches me life lessons, like Umineko does as well. Naruto, for example, didn't do that for me, right? It didn't, yeah. So only very few stories were able to do that for me. And One Piece is one of those very few ones because I feel like One Piece really does delve deep into that type of business. It's not like saying that Naruto doesn't delve deep into that. It just didn't impact me the same way. Maybe I should say it like that. And then yeah, it will fine. I mentioned this in one of the previous readings of this manga. Of when after returning from studying abroad. I mean, Monster is another one. I mentioned talked about Johann Liebert and him being a serial killer and all right. Talked about yeah how unconditional love, how that topic's taken in Monster. Absolutely amazing. So Monster is another one that has given me that. Um, I just mentioned Freedom some time ago, but Freedom to me is more like it reminds me of life lessons. It's not quite on the same echelon, I guess, for me as One Piece, Monster, or even Echo. But it's I do really, really like it. I do think it's a good reminder of the life lessons, you know. Um, and beyond just those three I mentioned, there's two. Oh, there's two more actually. Beyond those three I just mentioned, one of them is Attack on Titan. I don't even wanna delve into why. And the last one, because it is my favorite favorite portrayal of a pacifist character. I always thought I hated pacifist characters. I always thought I hated pacifist ideas. I was like, this is so stupid. I don't like this at all. Sometimes, being a pacifist doesn't work. Da, da, da. But the way the series did it is absolutely beautiful, and so a lot of you probably already know what I'm talking about. Villain Saga. That is the last big one that really, really hit me like hard, bro. For real, man. So Villain Saga, One Piece, Attack on Titan, Umineko, um, Monster. Let me also obviously put in Berserk up in there. I guess so. Those six. Those six are like, yeah. Ask me to make a Mount Rushmore, I couldn't. Well, other than One Piece being up there for sure, obviously. But the other three, I can based on the other picks. I don't know. I probably would have Attack on Titan there too. I didn't even go into detail for why Attack on Titan is there, but Attack on Titan is so dense. Boy, Attack on Titan itself, I could genuinely talk about for so long. I've talked about One Piece for so long already. I don't wanna continue with Attack on Titan. I won't. Um, and if I want to make a Mount Rushmore, right? Yeah, I don't know what the other two are. Ooh. Clan Adapter Story also belongs there. So seven stories. Clan Adapter Story for sure. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Anyway, we are done here for now. Um, Some of you might be asking, I mean, what about Higurashi? Does that belong there? It's not that Higurashi does not belong. Just gonna say that. It's more so that maybe I need to read the visual novel because the anime didn't do enough for me to go whoa. You know what I'm saying? Because right now I prefer Umineko over Higurashi, but that's because I've read the Umineko visual novel, which obviously goes way way deeper into the characterization of everyone and stuff. Um, whereas Higurashi anime was, I think it was amazing for the horror aspect of it and some of the ideas he brought up, but I'm sure if I read the visual novel, I'll get a similar feeling to Umineko. But okay, that was it for me for Umineko, for the manga, and for Umineko in general. Some of you will soon come by and recommend me to read yeah, like I said, Last Note, The Golden Witch, whatever else. Y'all just let me know in the comments. I'll get around to it eventually, maybe not right away because I have other plans for my channel. But for now, I am done with Umineko. I'm done with this chapter of uh, of my YouTube channel. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed reading through this at least as much as I. Wait, what? No, I hope you guys enjoyed. Wait, oh my goodness, can't speak. And this is all broken now. Oh, close the tab. Alright. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed reading the Umineko manga. Like I said, gave me great closure. Maybe even a little bit, I think a little bit better than the visual novel did. So I really did appreciate it. But both are great, of course. And yeah, we'll see for what comes next for Umineko. But for now, this is it. This is it for Umineko journey. I hope you guys, like I said, yeah, I'll see you guys sometime later. I don't know. And yeah, that's about it for me, y'all. Trying to scroll up to these two, but it's scrolling super slow. Okay, that's about it. All right, y'all. Um, thanks for everything. Peace.